And Gloucester Hartpury back in the game. And Gloucester in again. Queens have a third try. It's a chance here for Bristol Bears. Excellent shoots.
Lightning with the ball. Round 16 of the Allianz Premier 15s and the battle for the top four is on. A win today for Gloucester Hartpury would put them in the driver's seat for a home semi-final, which could mean playing here at Kingsholm all the way through to the final. They welcome Harlequins, whose bid for the playoffs comes with a few more challenges following Bristol Bears' win yesterday. They sit fifth with, right now, a 9-point deficit. A win today, absolutely paramount. Grab a cuppa, take a seat, as there's all to play for as the circus comes to town. Welcome to Kingsholm Stadium for round 16 of the Allianz Premier 15s, and we have a show for you today as Gloucester Hartpury welcome Harlequins in the glorious sunshine. And there is certainly a circus and festival-like atmosphere as the fan village is going off, and I'm delighted to be joined in this wonderful atmosphere by former World Cup winner and England international Kat Merchant. Kat, feels like I only saw you recently.
Yeah, only yesterday, but buzzing for this one today. The atmosphere is building, as you said. It's amazing it's at Kingsholm. Gloucester want to come at this one with everything, because I don't think they were happy with the game last week against Loughborough. There was 20 minutes where they just sort of weren't themselves, and obviously Quins, after that Bristol game yesterday, with Bristol beating Exeter, there's pressure now on Quins.
On the line today for Gloucester, a home semi-final, which will see them back in Kingsholm. And if they can, also back in Kingsholm for the final. For Harlequins, 9 points separate them from the top four in Bristol Bears, following that incredible win yesterday that we were lucky enough to witness. And there is a couple of really key moments. Shall we relive them? But that game as a whole, what were your takeaways?
So it was just so close, and we said about it in the build-up that Bristol-Exeter is always close, but Bristol really showed up. They really put in that 80 minutes performance, and that last 20 where Exeter are normally so dangerous, they completely played them out the game. So great game plan. They turned up to beat that Exeter side, and they executed it very well.
They really did, but it was definitely hit and miss. Momentum swings all through that first half, but what really nailed it down was that second try from Sarah Byrne.
Definitely. Yeah, it was so crucial to the game because it was that swinging point, and the momentum just really went with them, and we can see it here. They were building, and one thing that Bristol do really well is they get the ball wide early. But what they did against Exeter was they fronted up as well. They really used their forward. Their pack were fantastic. Scrums going really well. Byrne had a phenomenal game. She played 80 minutes, 60 at front row, I think, and then moved to 8 for 20. So pretty hard ask of her. So a really important score, a good finish, a training park move for them.
Nilling Exeter in the second half as well is no easy feat. That is a very strong side. Bristol actually showing that they could be real contenders in this playoff race.
Yeah, I think they really have peaked at the right time, because they started quite slow, which was frustrating for them, because that race for top four became then pretty hard. But actually, they are peaking at the right time. You want to be playing your best rugby in the business end of the season.
They have a very good habit of that, of years gone by, don't they?
Yeah.
But probably, if you were to ask anyone about, I don't know, their favourite try from yesterday, it has to be the bonus point by Amber Reid. That beautiful 1-2 and a sensational finish from an absolute talismanic player in that side.
Yeah, my favourite try for sure. And then, so Amber just soft passes, and then Cole's really good as well, that back inside. Amber knows here she probably doesn't quite have the gas, so they're moving the defence around, goes over, and just look at what it means to her teammates, because there's still time to go here, and Exeter are known for big comebacks, but that one there just absolutely solidified it for them and just meant so much to them. The crowd going wild as well. It was just really well, beautifully executed try, and I was so pleased that it was Amber Reid who was the one to score it.
And she's just signed a contract extension for the new season. How important is it for Bristol to keep her in that side?
Well, it is. She's captain, she leads by example, she really rallies that team together, because you can't go and beat Exeter without a belief in your side, and that comes from the captain, and I think you could really see that. And when she won player of the match as well, I just think everybody was so glad for her, and she is just the heart of Bristol.
Yeah, 21-24 the final score, but Exeter did have opportunity to actually get back in it, but Bristol's just resolute line defence was something that maybe we haven't seen in quite that way before.
Yeah, because I'd say that Bristol would, I think it's fair to say, sometimes they have a bit of inconsistency and their line speed isn't necessarily exactly there, but they had it every single time and their defence was just relentless.
Incredible scenes there as well as they kicked out on the full-time whistle. You can see exactly what it meant to them. And speaking to Dave Ward, he had a massive grin on his face the entire time. He was saying he needs to be like the calm swan, but underwater, his legs were flapping the entire time.
I don't know how calm he was for the last 10 minutes, because up in comms I can hear him shouting. So yeah, he may have been less calm than he led on. But yeah, Simi fan cheering up the crowds there as well, which I love, because it was genuinely, there was a DJ, like the atmosphere was great there, wasn't it?
It really was. Well, let's take a look at what that has done for the league table, because it's become absolutely pivotal to the game that we've got in front of us today. Harlequins now 9 points off Bristol Bears and making that top 4 playoff. Now, there are 15 points still out there, so it's not completely insurmountable, but it's not going to be the easiest path when we look at who they've got coming up. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I think they have to really focus, and they've got to get something from today. So the games they do have coming up, they'll be thinking they can get points from them with Worcester and DMP. There's points out there to be taken, but you know, Worcester put a bit of a shock in yesterday for the first half against Sarries. They kept them really, really close, so nothing's guaranteed. But yeah, that Bristol winning yesterday would have put a spanner in the works for Quins.
I can assume breathing a bit easier that they know that Bristol's off to Saracens, but then likely to pick up points against Wasps. So if today isn't a win...
I thought we were going to have
we're going to have another one!
Diving.
It's my saviour over here, saving me from flying balls to my face. You don't ignore what I just said. But yeah, I mean, in terms of Bristol picking up points against Wasps, then I think safe to assume if they can't get a win today, they need to take away some bonus points.
Yeah, and that's it, and that's where tactics are going to come into it as well. I think Emily Scott playing at 10 is a tactical queen. She knows what she's doing. She will lead that side really well in that area, so they need to take points when they're on offer. They need to play smart, because it's not just about going for a win. The win would be great, but they also have to play sensibly and pick up points when they're on offer.
How important then is it to have players like Langi Tuima who can kick from the tee? Last week against Worcester, 20 points just off the kicking tee. It's a pretty phenomenal stat.
It's incredible, and it does allow then those 3 points when they are on offer, when you've got someone like Langi Tuima, and a bit like Gloucester having Emma Singh. There's kickers out there that can take points, and that also brings in discipline. Like, you have to be really disciplined, because otherwise you're going to get penalised, and that means points with these amazing kickers out there.
And it kind of helps to have a world-class back three.
Oh, yeah, like insane. Like, there's so much pace out there. I'd love to see Ellie Kildan with ball in hand, like in a little bit more space. Haven't seen as much as I'd like to see in space. And just, yeah, there's just going through the team sheets again. It's like a real treat. You're just going through and you're like, amazing, 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 amazing. And there's just so many amazing players.
We've barely touched on the home side. Gloucester Hartpury on paper, absolutely incredible. One loss all season. But we maybe saw chinks in that armour against Loughborough last week.
Yeah, and I think that their back line played outstandingly. Tatiana Hurd is incredible, and she is getting better every single game as the season goes on. Rugman scores a ridiculous amount of tries, but last week what we did see is their vulnerabilities, and the line-out didn't function. Line-out did not function last week. Kick-off receipts as well. We saw it hit grass. Just doesn't happen normally, so they'll have worked on that at training though, and I expect them to be a lot more clinical today.
Do you think that's why we've seen the move from Zoe Oldcroft from 8 back into the engine room?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. They need to just go, yeah, okay, all phenomenal players around the pitch and ball carriers, but actually, unless you get your set piece right, that stuff doesn't really matter. So they'll have moved things around. So then they'll have Beckett at 8, who played well last week. She's a big, strong carrier. So have her off the base, have the line out secure with Oldcroft, and they'll look to fix that.
From a total standing on the sidelines, I'm a fan point of view, one of the things I'm most excited about is seeing Lucy Packer and Mo Hunt front up in that 9 shirt, and I'm sure John Mitchell is going to be hiding somewhere around here as well as he's assessing his New England squad. But just in terms of a spectacle, what can that provide?
Oh yeah, they're very different styles of play, but it is good to see, and like, whenever there's a head-to-head, it's exciting, and especially when an England shirt is potentially up for grabs. But Mo Hunt has had the season of her life. Like, she is playing fantastically, and Packer again, she is growing with each game, and she can put in some solid performances. So that's going to be an interesting one there in how they run the teams today.
So, Gloucester hunting for a home semi-final and Harlequins doing everything they can to get into the top 4 playoff spots. I can imagine there are a couple of nervous coaches around. Claire Thomas caught up with them both a bit earlier on.
Amy, you will of course have kept an eye across the events at Shaftesbury Park yesterday. You know the enormity of the task facing your side. With that result in mind, what's the message today?
The result actually doesn't affect our processes for today. Everything that we want to do is in our control, and we've definitely had that mindset for this week. It's a great result for Bristol and unfortunate for Exeter, but that doesn't necessarily affect how we attack this day. We're attacking it with the intention to leave our mark, score tries, come away with points, and that's massive for us.
You're in the backyard of the table toppers and they're able to name, as ever, an all-international starting pack. You're missing a few big names, Amy Cockayne, Rosie Gallagher, Sarah Bonner, Jade Conkle-Roberts. How confident are you in the players that you do have available to you, and how essential will that toe-to-toe front-up battle be?
Yeah, we are very confident with the players that we've got available. We've got a game plan and a process that we're going after, which we've had a really good training week. Those players are supporting us and have helped feed into the detail around the week, so their presence is still very much within the camp. So for us it's about putting a confident performance on.
If the stats are to be believed, and Gloucester Hartpury have an Achilles heel, it is their set piece. Is that an area that you've identified, and if so, how do you plan to exploit it?
Our strength is our processes and knowing our processes, and around that is our set piece. So we will play to our strengths and we will look to utilise opportunity in spaces where we think we can compete. Set piece is definitely one area of that.
Just finally, it's a quick track here at Kingsholm. The weather is absolutely perfect. The conditions are glorious. We're expecting a decent-sized crowd. How excited are your backline to really let loose today?
Well, we want to entertain, we want to play, we want to score tries. Being in a pitch like this is going to give us the best opportunity to do that. With the sun shining, it puts a smile on everyone's face, doesn't it?
We're really looking forward to it. Thanks for your time, Amy, and go well.
Thanks.
Sean, we're at the home of the circus and the league's jesters have rolled into town. I'm sure the excitement levels are through the roof, but how are you balancing them with composure this afternoon?
Yeah, you know, and this is what I said to the girls at the beginning of the year. We were looking to be in top 4, and we got a great opportunity here to stay in that top spot. So, look, we're excited, and I'm sure the girls, there's enough leaders out there who can give that little bit of composure.
You mentioned top spot. Obviously, the end goal is to lift the trophy at the end of June, but on the way there is the chance to finish top of the league in the regular season. How important is that to you?
Yes, it's important to everyone to have that home semi-final, and that's something that we're going to be looking to build on going into this game, and fingers crossed.
Does it matter for the ability to also say, though, that we have topped the league? We have had the most successful 18-round season.
Yeah, we have had a very good season. It's been great, you know, and we're just concentrating on what we're doing today, and we know how good this Harlequins team can be. Look at the result yesterday, how hungry Bristol were to be in that top 4, and Harlequins are going to be the same again.
Let's look at today then. There's one change that's particularly eye-catching in that Sarah Beckett and Zoe Aldcroft are swapping rows. Is that anything to do with the line-out, which creaked a little bit against Loughborough last week?
No, not really. It's got nothing to do with the line-outs. We just know that Zoe, she's happy to be into that second row spot, playing on a rubber crumb as well. She can get around the park with it, and then we also want Sarah Beckett making sure that she's out in the 5-man and being the wrecking ball that she is in the ball carries, and she's been great for us.
And just finally, with potentially a grand showdown at the end of the season on the line right here at Kingsholm, how important is it to put the home in Kingsholm?
Yeah, it's very important. You know, the girls, as soon as we announce we're going to be playing Kingsholm at this game, they get so excited just because the crowd that we have from Gloucester rugby fans. It's lovely to see people in the sun and in the shed. You know, the shed is amazing, the support. So fingers crossed, it's going to be a great day for all.
You've got a feeling that it will be. Enjoy it yourself.
Thank you.
Well, you want to be in the top half of the table, of course you do, but with just 3 weekends remaining of the regular season, it's a pretty intense place to be right now. Kingsholm is a wonderful place to be, let me tell you that for nothing. The sun is shining, it's still as you like. There are cherry and white jerseys all over the stands in the famous shed, and what a way to bring about what has been a fascinating round 16. That thumping win for Bristol Bears in one of the games of the season has blown the race for 4th wide open. Harlequins need points today, and then results on the road for Loughborough
Saracens and Sale Sharks. There's been a proper carnival atmosphere here at Kingsholm, and this is a site called the Circus for a reason, but you've got to earn the right to go wide. And here's the pack Sean Lynn thinks will do just that this afternoon. Looking at it, he's probably right. 8 senior internationals, including 3 Red Roses standouts in Alex Matthews, Sarah Beckett and vice-captain Zoe Aldcroft. No changes amongst the Puppet Masters and the Speedsters. The back's the same as those that ran out against Loughborough last week. Harlequins are missing a few heavy hitters up front at the moment in Cockayne, Galligan, Bonner and Conkle Roberts, but there are still some considerably powerful athletes in quarters this afternoon. In Red Roses, Bryony Cleal and Emily Robinson, plus 2 of Amy Turner's trio of Wallaroos. Caitlin Leaney and Emily Chancellor have made impacts in every conceivable way since arriving in southwest London and will be itching to take on Gloucester Hartpury. Wearing 12 is the other of the Australians, Arabella McKenzie. Has been a revelation. She'll partner Emily Scott as playmakers with Ellie Kildunn, who is playing the rugby of her life right now in at fullback. And look at that for timing. Here they come, the visitors led out by their skipper, Emily Scott, all smiles here in the sunshine at Kingsholm. It's noisy already, just you wait. The home side will receive an even warmer reception. What a way this will be to bring up the end of round 16. Just 2 rounds remaining in what's been the most open and exciting Premier 15s campaign to date. And those women there with a bit of a mountain to climb. That win for Bristol Bears means they have to leave here with something. As Sean Lynn said to me this week, Harlequins are here fighting for 4th, and Gloucester Hartpury, they're fighting to stay top. Just listen to that welcome. Natasha Hunt never short of a smile. Neither are Kelsey Jones or Maud Muir. And they're absolutely beaming. Welcomed out by the several thousands who've come here to watch their table toppers continue what has been the best campaign we've ever seen from a side in cherry and whites. And with the side that they've assembled, it's hardly a surprise. Delighted to say I've got a World Cup winner alongside me here at Kingsholm. And Kat, we just saw the teams there in those back threes. I mean, Rugman, Venner and Singh, Torley, Dow, Kildunn. Suddenly branding today as the Circus against the Jesters feels very appropriate.
Oh, they're just out-and-out finishers, and just we're going to see some, I'm assuming, some really strong tries from all of them probably today, because give them an inch of space and they are all so dangerous. So we're going to see definitely some exciting runs today.
We absolutely will. There's the man in the middle for the occasion, Charles Gaither, assisted by James Cornell and James Pidding. The RFU, of course, keeping referees in little units for the end of the season to maintain consistency, to make sure that games are managed perfectly, because there is an awful lot at stake right now. So here we go. Your Sunday afternoon treat. A side determined to tighten their grip on top spot, up against one desperately looking to cling on for a chance to finish 4th. Something's got to give. This one is massive. So grab your popcorn, grab your calculators. Here we go. Emily Robinson receiving that one from Packer and trucking it up to the cusp of the 22 off that kickoff from Claky George. Now Mackenzie finds Bryony Cleal. Scored against Wasps last week in the game-changer fixture at the Stoop on her return from injury. And now Claky George has her first carry of the afternoon. It's swift delivery from Hunt, whipped out from Lund, out to the wing. Here is Vanna, puts her foot to the floor, but met by Mackenzie and dragged into touch.
Oh, Mackenzie's known for her defence and absolutely used it there, but you can just see how dangerous Gloucester are straight away. Mo Hunt whips that pass out wide. They really, Gloucester wingers get their hands on the ball so much earlier than any other team, and it's yeah, fantastic to see. But really good ball out wide, but look at this for a cover tackle. Hits nice and high on the chest on the ball so she could drive her out.
We talked plenty about misfiring lineouts in the build-up to this one, but it was actually Harlequins who came unstuck there. Gloucester lost several on their own throw last week, and Lynn has said that it's been an area that they've been working on. It's bread and butter for Harlequins, but a slightly nervy start there from Rosie Dobson.
Yeah, and I think when there's been, you've got key players out, as you mentioned, for Quins, and there's always a reshuffle going on, so it can be difficult. And they've done it in training, but it's very different at Kingsholm in front of lots of Gloucester fans.
Well, those in the shed loved what they saw there, because Beth Ann Lewis brought it down, and now the gears begin to grind, and the pack finds themselves 5 metres out. A cherry and white juggernaut.
Still under penalty advantage.
Moments away now from the dreamiest of starts. Hunt driven backwards by Cleel, but the penalty conceded.
Yeah, they look like a bit of a cheap shot almost on Natasha Hunt there, like came in from the side and hit her, and they know probably because she's such a threat they're going to be wanting to hunt her down, really, because she has just been carving up. But really dangerous position for Quins here, being 5 metres out, with Gloucester having this line out now.
Cleel's conceded 17 penalties now for the season, more than anyone else in this Harlequins outfit, and they do have the worst disciplinary record in the league. That could prove costly. And the best player in the world a couple of years ago, Zoe Aldcroft, brings that one down. I say that as though she's done. She's playing fantastically at the moment, and she's at the heart of that effort, driving, creaking forward inch by muscular inch. The hands go up, and the most important one of them all, the referees, does too. It's the dreamiest of starts for the table toppers.
That's what they needed. They wanted to settle into this game, because they start strong, they come out and they finish that, and especially off the back of last week, there's been chat about being really clinical and focused, and you can't ask for much more clinical than that. There was nothing Quins could do. They've got a strong pack, but they were not stopping that rolling line out more there for the try. So beautiful in the air. Quins don't compete, which is quite common when you're only 5 metres out. So they get in, they can have their numbers. You can see them trying to put the input in, and it does initially stop, but Gloucester then just get it going, and you can see the unity that they have. They're stopping it, stopping Quins from being able to do anything about it, twisting, going across, and then finally once they get over the line, because again, you can't go too early or there's a risk of being held up, but they do it very, very well.
Well, Lynn told us before the match that the change to put Zoe Aldcroft in the engine room wasn't anything to do with the line-out. It was just about mixing things up, developing those combinations in his pack, but we've immediately seen it paying dividends.
Yeah, and they would have definitely worked on it at training, and maybe brought it back to basics, in terms of that was the only thing that held us back last week. So if we fix that, then actually again we're looking at, I was just looking at the drama of the kick then, because it was super windy, wasn't it?
It is gusty indeed. Emma Singh's first effort goes begging. She nailed 4 out of 5 last week at Franklin's Gardens and picked up a Player of the Match award. You can see there Mackenzie's ponytail doing a merry little dance before the kick-off. It is windy. I'll have to contend with that this afternoon. Well, she sends it deep indeed. It's Singh on the receipt, a better gathering of that one this week. Turns it to almost the halfway line. That breeze is really having an impact.
Yeah, it really is, but Bella Mackenzie is someone that can put boot to ball very well. Tactically, she's very smart. She does look to put it over the top as well, so she'll be keeping that Gloucester back three pretty busy today and test them.
Mackenzie made her debut in round 2 up against Loughborough, joined from the Waratahs, where she won basically everything there was to be won. Delgado, who wins that one, finds Matthews, who's a blur of blonde ponytail and driving legs. They're up over the halfway line, and Hurd fizzes us out to George. That interplay between the 12 and 10, so efficient here at Gloucester Hartpury, and Rachel Lund. Ball is stripped, and Kildare manages to get it away to fellow Red Rose down, but what a carry from the outside centre. Quins need possession. Theirs is a game that is most lethal ball in hand, where those flyers can stretch their legs. They'll be looking to keep their mitts on this for a little bit longer, but as I say that, Mackenzie boots it over the top. It's George to Venner, the youngster, ball in 2 hands, plenty of space on the wing. Hurd has to check herself to catch that one, and it takes 3 women in blue to bring her down. Flat ball to Aldcroft. What delivery from Natasha Hunt. Playing some of her best rugby, involved in 18% of Gloucester Hartpury's tries this season. That is a ridiculous number. A bump from Beckett.
Never on ball.
Hunt Flat again. Lovely line from Maud Muir. And this from Gloucester Hartpury is lethal stuff.
Move!
Really taking on Quins, forcing them to commit to each and every hit. The grubber trickles through. It's gathered, it's down. It's Sam Monaghan with Gloucester Hartpury's 100th score of the season. We have never seen a cherry and white side this lethal. This is the best they've ever been, and they are storming towards the playoffs.
And what a score that was, and what a team try as well. Really, really smart. They knew they had the advantage, and one thing that Gloucester have done this season is they don't panic. Even when they're playing loads and loads of phases, they just have this belief, that confidence that they're going to score. So a lovely kick through. Tatiana Hurd, so powerful. Draws 1-2 players to tackle her, then there's others coming in to guard the ruck, and then it's the speed of which from Mo Hunt to get that ball across to Claky George. Look at that, just drops it onto her boot. And Sam Monaghan, that's not an easy pickup. She's a tall girl, getting down there on her shoelaces to pick that up to score. A lot of skill on display there.
The energy in this place is fantastic. There's a sort of little bit of hush, but everyone's buzzing.
Well, I was born in Gloucester, and I used to come to Kingsholm to watch the men play. So actually, for me, coming and watching the women here and commentating on it, it's a bit of a dream, really. It's awesome just to see how far the game has come. So, 14-year-old Kat just starting rugby coming here was, pretty happy.
Well, 14-year-old Kat, she should wait until she hears the news that the final's going to be here.
Yeah.
So, back underway. Gloucester Hartpury up by 10. Harlequins yet to really carry the ball into the opposite 22. Is possession what they just desperately need right now?
Yeah, they need possession. They've lost 2 line-outs out of 2, I'm pretty sure, stats-wise, and it's so important that they can have that, because otherwise we've seen what Gloucester do as soon as they get the ball, but yeah, they build up into this. So Lund does a really good carry. What she does is she just, it's so hard to tackle. Look, 1, 2, 3, but tell you what, Kildun does so well there. She strips the ball in the contact. She noticed that vulnerability and went for it, so very smart defence from her.
And very deft play there from Emily Scott to handle that accidental bounce pass from Lucy Packer. Gloucester, though, have it again. 2 errant passes, 1 from Quins, 1 from the Cherry and Whites. But it's the hosts that are able to regather it. And now Kelsey Jones had a brilliant barnstorming Six Nations for Wales, and she's carried all of that form back into her club jersey. Laura Delgado, known as Bimba, bouncing her way downfield. And that speculative kick might have slightly too much on it.
Yeah, too much on, but you have to say, actually, Quins really stepped up there. Their line speed, as soon as there was a Gloucester error, it went on the floor. That whole Quins came up as a line. They put a lot of pressure on, led by Langi Tuima, who is known for her intercepts, and she does fly in defence, doesn't she? She can cut things off. So she was leading them up and putting pressure on Gloucester, and that's what they have to do today. They have to pressure Gloucester, because Gloucester is such a dangerous side. You just want to kill any ball that they do have.
And they have to put pressure on, because essentially, Kat, this is a knockout fixture for Quins. Failed to leave here with points, and they essentially hand the 4th spot to Bristol Bears.
Yeah, so it's huge, and as far as pressure goes, there's a lot on their heads, but they're at the minute not playing like it. They are still, they just need to get hold of the ball and keep it.
Crouch!
Speaking of pressure, how's this for a sextet of front rowers? Maud Muir, Kelsey Jones, Laura Delgado, Chloe Edwards, Rosie Dobson, and Bryony Cleal. It's the quartered forwards who come up with the free kick here.
Scrum again. Scrum.
And no surprises there. Bryony Cleal having a little word with the referee, just looking to dig into that decision.
Yeah, there's vocal players, and then there's Bryony Cleal. But yeah, so she'll definitely be having a word there.
Vocal, but extraordinarily effective too. She's only managed to make 6 appearances for Quins this season, but she's on 5 tries. Her impact's been immense.
Yeah, she's just such a good ball carrier, ties defenders in, like so strong, and strong in the set piece as well. So this is her area of expertise where she'll want to dominate.
Set! So you're both hitting with shoulders below your hips there. You need to get the height like I've requested. Same mark, quick reset. Let's go, please.
So really clear there, wanting to see that the shoulders are above the hips. Really key on that height as being the issue, especially when it's going down. So definitely referee wants to sort this because it's a long old day of scrums if you don't get it sorted early.
What a waste of a quick track and a
Crouch.
busy King's Home if we're just going to see scrum after scrum.
Any props listening have just turned against you there, Claire. Yeah, they love to see a scrum.
We want lots of scrums, but we want them to function.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Look at the celebration there from Gloucester Hartpury. Sarah Beckett relishing that penalty.
Yeah, it was the thing, you know, set piece they really wanted to work on this week. They've said about it during the week, and they've absolutely done that. Nailed the line out, got the try, got a scrum penalty where they can now hoof this down and then rely on their line out again. So clinical from Gloucester this week.
Far side, your second row.
Not as far as she'd have wanted on that though, when we're talking about being clinical, but you know, when you've put a kick in and it's gone dead, you go a little bit then safer, take a bit off it. So I think they're happy to just play wherever.
Clean as you like, double tops, Bethan Lewis down, first phase strike move, Rachel Lund with plenty of space, but Emily Robinson slams the door shut.
Lifted.
Hunt does really well to extricate herself free hand and find Delgado. Flaky George clears out, but it's Quins with the penalty.
Holding on.
Quins are being really smart, and it's got to be a tactic of theirs because they know Gloucester are going to make line breaks. But one of the things when you do make line breaks is you're automatically going to be isolated. So there's the first break. I don't know what Rachel Lund does have for breakfast, but she is absolutely on fire. I want some of it. So does really well with the line break. And then Natasha Hunt comes in, and that ball gets moved away so quickly it stops the turnover. But later, those few phases on, from a Quins perspective, they'd spotted that there was a vulnerability. They could go in, they could steal it, and yeah, that's obviously a tactic that's working for them.
Quinn, step in.
Scarcely made any vertical distance with that clearance kick, but they do have the chance now to gain a little bit of territory. It's Caitlin Leaney who brings it down, the Aussie import. The young Wallaroo using every inch of her 6 foot.
Stop the momentum.
Bring the ball safely
You're
down.
Penalty advantage 9.
And very patiently, Harlequins start to make a little bit of territory back. Here is Cleo. This is Cleo. That was Dobson. The piano pushers going to work. Tuima looks to pirouette, but it's a sandwich of props.
No, go back.
Delgado and Muir sending her backwards. Chloe Edwards unable to cling to that one, but we were playing under an advantage, so we'll come back.
Yeah, so that was much, much better from Quinn. So to be able to win the line out, first of all, they needed that for them, and then they just were marching up quite calmly, making their ground, knowing that they've got the then advantage as well, to then kicking across, and great views in the crowds there.
We love a bit of leopard print catch. We pop down at half-time and see where we can get you one of those.
Definitely. Yeah.
And that stat almost looks like a typo, it's so impressive, but actually it's believable.
Yeah, just Quins haven't really had the ball. When they have had it, it's in areas of the pitch where they've had to kick it and they've lost possession. But yeah, the meters made, and here's some more meters to be made from Gloucester.
Over ambitious with the line out, and the last person you want to see rising with a spilt ball is Alex Matthews, nominated for World Player of the Year last year, and absolutely flying. Well, here comes another flyer, Emma Singh, pinwheels down that 5-metre channel, and Hunt ships it on. Look forward to look forward. It's the 2 try scorers, Allcroft and Monaghan, and now Maud Muir carries a couple of Harlequins with her. They can smell blood, Gloucester Hartpury, and Bethan Lewis managed 2 last week at Franklin's Garden. She's not letting up. That's their 3rd. Everything is coming up Gloucester Hartpury.
And again, just such a beautifully worked team try. That pass from Flaky George is up there with one of the best passes of the season. To float it over like that was just beautiful. I'm punching my mic in the air, so excited. And then to play it back through, and then Bethan Lewis as well, the leg drive and the strength that she has to go over. So let's see the pass. So Here we go, lift in, and it's over the top of the defender there as well. Nothing can do. That's how you beat the corner. Stepping back in, keep the ball, recycling. Great break from Maud Muir as well, the initial one. And then, yeah, just lovely here, good finish. Like, by all means, she should be tackled there. She should be held up, but nothing is stopping her with that leg drive. Great try.
Emma Singh really put her laces through that one, and the flags go up. 17 plays 0. Bethan Lewis, the latest to score, who Lynn described to me earlier this week as a silent assassin, an unsung hero in his side.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at the team sheet, and when you just look at that whole back row, like the whole pack, all of them really, but to stand out amongst that, you have to be going some, and that's a good finish, just pure strength.
So much chat ahead of this one about what the back lines would do, but you almost don't need your back lines when your forwards are handling the way that Gloucester Hartpury's are today. Emma Singh heard me. She wants to make her mark. 10 meaty metres made up by the full-back. And lovely hands through from Muir to pick out Lewis. She's got a breath back after that try. Just
out.
Knocked on by Kelsey Jones.
Thank you, I couldn't see that.
And
yeah.
the linesman just chiming in and letting our referee know what went on.
Yeah, one of the things that Gloucester does is they play beautifully flat, but when you do play flat, you do put a lot more pressure on yourself, because it's the line speed up against that Quins are putting on, make it quite difficult, so just a tough one to get and a knock on. And you're going to get a few of those when you play with the amount of ball that they play with and the tempo that they play with. A couple of drop balls here or there. Do you know what? You take it.
They call themselves the Circus. They pride themselves on an all-court game and on having fun when they play rugby. It's fun to watch too.
Oh, it's so fun. It's really, really good. They enjoy it, and they just want to move the ball, and that's what I love to see. Now, Quins as well, though, they can do that too. They've played some beautiful rugby. When they played Saris at the start of the season, and they had some great tries on display there.
Use it. 7.
There've been some absolute pearlers, and it's that woman there who scored a couple of them. Bella McKenzie's been a revelation since coming up to the Northern Hemisphere, and the woman on the turf right now, Abby Dow, she's been a revelation ever since she pulled on a Wasps jersey. The ball stripped and flung high into the West Country sky. Harlequins will be thinking, what do we need to do to just string some phases together? Rugman, well wrapped up by Dow. Tuima gives her mate a hand in bringing down the prolific winger. Hunt whips it to George Lewis. Lovely footwork, leaving her opposite number, Emily Chancellor, for dead on that occasion.
Trapped her in, ball's there.
Hunt told to send it onwards, and Lund,
away! Ball's here.
with her mysterious and all-powerful breakfast, has another go.
Not now.
That from Kildun, ferocious.
Leave it now.
Gobbled up any spare space that Hunt might have had, but again, everything coming up the way of the host. Gloucester Hartpury cling to possession somehow.
No, leave it now!
Makes the tackle on Lewis.
Second player in. Can't have hands in.
Gloucester have
The
that
second
beautiful
player.
balance of patience
Three was
with
first.
tempo. And so it's so difficult
Form
to
first,
achieve.
15 hands in.
And they're just a great strip there, just got it. And then, but it's that, it's stripped, it's loose in the air, but Gloucester come away with it because they just react so quickly and go for it.
This might be a really difficult question, but everything coming up Gloucester Hartpury's way, and then finding that balance of patience with pace and power and explosive ability. Who's that led by? Is that coached in the week? Is that something that happens on match day? Is there a player you think is particularly key?
Mo Hunt will be key in that, definitely at 9, because she's the one that's going to be bossing her forwards and the tempo with the play. But it's the patience which they give by having their depth, by having the trust to get it wide, that they can then hit on. And that's a whole team thing and an ethos and a coaching thing as well, definitely, because it's an attitude.
Just hit Tati creeping through on the ref mic. It's a name that we're saying an awful lot at the moment.
Away, Blue!
Another one who had a bit of a breakthrough Six Nations, really. Amber Reid's early injury against Scotland in round 1. Hurd seized that opportunity with both hands. She's been a fulcrum for this historic campaign by the Cherry and Whites, who are now looking to switch it up down the blind side. Matthews, the latest to have a go. Hunt straddles to Ema, whips it out to Lewis. The two open sides, that's been a fascinating battle already today. Flat pass to Maud Muir, who's been picking lovely nuanced lines. Well, there's nothing nuanced about that. Sarah Beckett bumps a couple of bodies. Another flat carry. Someone needs to step in at scrum half.
She clearly lifted.
Perhaps they don't.
Not even trying to pick it up. Don't. When your hands are on top slapping it down, that's not. Three's clearly over the ball. Holding on, red 9.
Well, ball turned over. Mo Hunt holding on the floor.
Yeah, so got done for holding on. So I think it was Bryony Cleal who managed to get over on the ball, got the turnover, because Mo Hunt normally when she snipes, ball's in, I'll let you take over. Hunt
allowing that ball to be turned over, but touch not found.
That's fine, you've lifted it.
Singh scampers back towards that 22. All the action in this half of the field so far.
Can't play the 9.
Very smart from Mo there, because normally when she does snipe, she'll get through. So she thought she saw a gap there, but what she did here was just make sure. So I think we're looking at the penalty first. So it's a good carry, initially strong carry, and then Mo obviously thinks she spots a gap, and then but then it's covered by Cleo. Comes in really nice and quickly over it. So we'll see from this angle there you go, good body. You have to be able to be supporting your own body weight, ref deemed that she is, and then a good steal.
Wherever she goes, Cleo, she makes herself felt. Saracens, Wasps, now Harlequins, working her way around the London clubs.
Ball. Up you come, don't change. Out you go, 3! Blue 3 out!
How about this from Gloucester Hartpury?
The ball at the back with the back pod split off and went back onto the maul. It's accidental offside, it's a scrum, blue ball.
Yet again, Harlequins turning them over in the red zone.
Yeah, they're really being clinical with that, but just something not quite right with the line out there. So a technical thing, but not on purpose. So Quins now get that, get the put in of the scrum.
Accidental offside called. Gloucester just splintering and reforming in that maul.
And it's the fine margins of it, because yeah, if it breaks off and the ball's in the wrong position, then this is going to happen. And actually sometimes refs could deem it penalty against. So, but when we've seen that when it does work, that line out is so functional for Gloucester.
They've not had one put in yet on their own scrum. It's all been Lucy Packer in this department, and that head with Mo Hunt will be one that will keep international rugby fans entranced this afternoon. Quins then looking to exit. They've got Tawley on the blind side. Not that they'll have the chance to use it. And going quickly is Gloucester. Alex Matthews down and over, quick as a flash. The bonus point in the bag with 25 minutes played. And all of the big international names in that meaty, mighty Gloucester Hartpury pack getting themselves on the score sheet.
I just want to unpack that for a second. So they win the scrum penalty, and then Mo taps it so quickly and passes it to Alex Matthews, who's been part of that scrum, who's managed to recycle herself back to get ready, so that actually once it goes, look at that, to then work hard and get the ball. Fair play, like, because actually when she scored that, I was like, hang on, she was just in the scrum, so the work rate to do for that, and the speed of reaction from Mo Hunt as well, and she just casually gets up. She's just scored an amazing try. It wasn't a difficult, it was a bit of a difficult catch to take. Manages to land, move her body, present it over the line.
I can hear you, can you not hear me?
Really needed all the replays there to go into that forensic detail. One of the sneakiest tries you'll see. Matthews second for her new club. Just her 4th appearance. That was sweetly struck by Emma Singh. Brings up 24 points, averaging a point a minute.
I think at the start of the season, Gloucester looked unbeatable, and then there has been, we've discussed a few chinks in the armour, but there are no chinks today. They look just like, I don't know, they're untouchable at the minute, but to win that scrum penalty, have the dominance in the pack, then the awareness to be able to quick tap it, and then the strength for Matthews to finish there, that angle there, showing her bumping off players as she goes, and then to have a kick from the corner. So this is just a skillful side.
The whole package, the top trump that you really, really want in this Allianz Premier 15s. And actually, as that ball trickles out of play, now feels a good time to talk a little bit about bigger picture.
Line out.
Because
Gloucester on the
Gloucester
edge.
Hartpury were almost beaten by Bristol just before the Six Nations. We've seen Saracens and Exeter sharing spoils. We've seen Saracens and Gloucester sharing spoils. Bristol Bears are in ascendancy. Exeter look to be having a wobble. Could any of the top four, as things stand, win this thing?
Yes, definitely on their day. I really think they could, but going on today's performance, Gloucester just looking like definitely top.
Good timing.
Well, they're hunting for a fifth within moments of play resuming. Beckett, wearing 8 this afternoon, carries into heavy traffic, but so swift is their delivery that it's now with Rugman out on the wing.
Oh, just a small knock-on on the floor there. Good spot from the referee, with Gloucester trying to keep it. And again, I'm going to talk about Clayton George's flat passing, because it is just next level. It is so nice, and it just beats defences with the ability to pull it that flat. And as I said, the trust from the players outside her to be wide and to hit on is just beautiful rugby to watch.
You've had the joy of a Premier 15's double bubble this weekend, so you got to see 2 mercurial Welsh fly halves in 24 hours. Eleanor Snowsill carving it up at Shaftesbury Park, and now Clayton George. Johan Cunningham has got some good options at 10.
Oh yeah, just absolutely both outstanding performances. So yeah, selection headaches for sure.
Set.
Tell you what, Sean Lynn has a difficult job every week picking who's going to put on those 23 cherry and white jerseys. And they are all over Harlequins right now.
Come up first before we've gone down, same ball.
But it's Quinn still have the put in. And Rosie Dobson down on the floor looks to be in a little bit of discomfort.
I'll come and talk to you in a moment.
So she'll receive a bit of attention before our referee pops back to have a word with Bryony Cleal.
So scrum's just not going Quinn's way so far today. Gloucester just super strong. Referee doesn't see anything wrong with this one, just said that both have popped up, which is why Quinns were getting the ball back in. So just trying to see what's happened to Dobson there, but awkward landing, yeah, a twist potentially in the ankle.
What I saw there for me is she's won the
ankle or knee, but that's much better. When your hooker goes down, you just worry about head and neck. So if it's ankle, I know it's not great, but it's safer.
The scrum has to naturally
72% possession, and then 10 times, literally 10 times the meters made. How do Harlequins go about getting more possession? Because you can't do anything in a game of rugby without the ball.
It's that. It's you know, the line out did have one that did function, but the ones before that hadn't. Their scrum is under real pressure. They've had 2 scrum penalties against them, and then that one a real turn there, and now with Dobson down, that's another concern for them. But it's just getting the ball in the areas of the pitch where they can play, because it's so difficult when you're camped inside your own half, because you are going to kick it out. So very difficult handing possession back to Gloucester.
Well, Rosie Dobson's just checking her ankle with the medics now, and Davinia Catlin, who's wearing 16 for Quinns today, going through some warm-up drills on the sidelines. Meanwhile, in front of our commentary position, Gloucester Hartpury have brought out the water and a couple of skips full of iced water and flannels, and desperately trying to cool down in the sunshine.
Well, in the shade it's freezing, but like when you're actually in that sun, it is so hot. So players-wise, and as well with the tempo that they are playing at, it's pretty brutal. Got to feel for Singh out there on her own. No water for her, but the rest of the team huddled into the shade, the only little bit of shade on the pitch.
Can't believe you've just described the shade as freezing. I'll remind you of that next time we're in Sale in January.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
What an occasion it's been, though. People, we got here at about 12:30 today, 2 hours before kickoff, but fans were already here in their numbers. Everyone in jerseys, flags. There's a real party atmosphere. You can probably hear the drum ringing out across the microphones around the stadium. It's been great.
Oh, it's so great, and fans getting behind it. And I think one of the big differences is a practical one, and it's in terms of having coffee available, having drinks available, having food available, so people can come down and actually just enjoy a day out, rather than, like, the rugby is quality, and clearly we have seen that, but the extras as well just allow it to be family outing, fans outing. It's brilliant.
10 minutes left on the half then. Quinn's yet to register a punch. They do have the put in here. And Rosie Dobson made a miraculous recovery. She was back in the heart of that one, but to no avail. The hosts have turned it over. Matthews over the top of the breakdown there. Monaghan, they call her Sammy Bill at Gloucester Hartpury because of her offloading ability, and we got a glimpse of it there. Flaky George with another pass that deserves to be hung on the wall in a gallery somewhere.
Thank you.
Majestic ball in hand this afternoon, and you suspect here comes another one. Bumps Lauren Brooks. How's that for a mismatch? Placed backwards, nice and clean, so that Hunt can pick out her co-captain Aldcroft. Through the hands they go, coast to coast. They call themselves the Circus, and they're looking to entertain. Looking for a fifth score. That pass doesn't quite go according to plan. Great strength from Rugman, but denied by a blade of painted grass.
Yeah, tiptoeing down that touchline, and it's somewhere where she is very, very comfortable. Like, she can be a centimetre from that touchline and normally has so much confidence to carry, just gets enough defence on her to just, a little, it looked harsh from that angle, didn't think she'd gone in, looked like she'd managed to stay in and keep the ball alive, but touch judges down there, they'd have spotted it and seen.
Dobson sends it long, finds Robinson, one of the latest Red Roses to receive their senior cap. Her sister Emily, of course, playing for Exeter Chiefs.
No three, out and round.
Quinns can somehow remain in the hunt for fourth place in the league. They might yet meet down the road this season, but at the moment, you get the feeling fourth spot is going to the Bears.
Ripped.
Right, as a former Bear, Langi Tuima carries into traffic, ball knocked on. Quinn's hunting a successful exit.
But it's still just, it's a hard place to be, isn't it? You're deep in your 22, your scrum's under a fair amount of pressure. You haven't had much possession. It's just not, it's not a happy place to be for Quinn's.
I wonder if Amy Turner is looking forward to getting them into the sheds to change something up.
Yeah, because they can do that, and you can see there's a sudden switch and they just start to play differently, but they haven't really had much opportunity because of the pressure on the set piece. I think they've not had that ability to play. This better though, a way to get out of pressure, quick tap, and they've gone.
Mackenzie sends it wide to Kildun, who spots a little bit of space in the backfield. Chases it hard. It's 15 on 15. Thing's going to look up to see one of the best flyers on Planet Rugby bearing down upon her. Loses her footing. Does really well. A jinky, mazy run.
No, go back. Thank you. No.
Slower ball this time. Hunt to Monaghan. The tackle came in. It had to. Quinns, if they can just turn the ball over here, would finally have a bit of a foothold territorially. Kildun dragging the ball from the hands of Lewis.
Down, you must release
Gloucester Hartpury yet again on the right side of the ref.
Yeah, and there we go. We spoke about Quinn's ill-discipline, and it does tend to creep in when they're under pressure. They've been marked back another 10, and we're just going to be treated to the Emma Singh footwork here. So she is under a lot of pressure from Kildun, manages to fall over, and then still managed to get up, and the footwork, and then even looking to move it, like to get out of that situation. She's done really well there.
Edge. On the edge.
She's only 22 years old, Emma Singh, but she's been around and playing at such a top level for such a long time, and does so with such composure. It does feel as though she's much older than that.
Yeah, there's a few players in the Prem now that have been playing for, it feels like such a long time, and you really know these players inside out. And then, yeah, saying she's 22, you're like, no way. Like, it just doesn't seem possible.
Ball.
Monaghan, the Gaelic footballer turned rugby extraordinaire. Rested last week after a bruising Six Nations in an Ireland jersey.
No three.
Well, she looks fresh. And a fresh Sam Monaghan is a scary prospect indeed. Scott looking to strip it from try scorer Lewis. But Hunt, with quick delivery, and Lakey George has got all the cheat codes right now. She goes again, finds Hurd, and now Singh out to the wing. Another youngster who's been around the block a few times, Mia Venner, capped at just 17, so it feels like she's been playing for decades. Very impressive against Lightning last week too. Hurd, spot space, Chancellor does well to cover the gap, to make the tackle. And now Lewis with Rugman to her outside, fine tackle from Lucy Packer. Her opposite number finds Kelsey Jones.
Leave it now. Ball's here.
And as Kat Merchant was saying alongside me, that blend of patience and efficacy from Gloucester Hartpury. Big old counter up from Harlequins. They've turned it over.
Entry 14.
And a good patience there shown by Quins to actually wait. The referee initially says no, they make sure they're coming through the gate, and they do that counter up really well. They force Rugman to then come in, and she's gone over the top from the side, so now they win the penalty and manage to get themselves out of a lot of pressure, because really I started to believe there Gloucester were building, and I was thinking another score was coming, but Quins weathered the storm well. A good kick from Mackenzie, and now they're into the not quite into Gloucester's half. I thought they'd nudged it over, but nearly.
Okay.
Good clearance kick, considering the wind direction. Rosie Dobson's ankles decided it's had it for the day. So Davinia Catlin wearing that red scrum cap is on.
No, they're coming in. The hooker was changed.
Such experience.
Step in.
And quite the trailblazer too, of course. The first player in the league to return from giving birth. Wonder if her son Caden is watching on. Well, she manages her first dart brilliantly. It's a nice switch pass from Brooks. Quins with a bit of ball, and Abby Dow finally stretches her legs. Just nothing to be done right now. Gloucester Hartpury all over their visitors.
Yeah, nice to see them get the ball to Dow, but she's just isolated. She gets the ball, she tries. There's not as much space as needed, but when you've got the likes of players as quick as Dow and as agile, you've got to like hedge your bets a bit. You've got to be tracking, run those cheat lines so you get to her to support her, because she is going to be ending up on her own. So looking back at the replay, seeing how it happened, so nice ball from Packer, lovely ball from Scott as well. Okay, wrap around play. So actually a little bit of space, but as she goes here round, no one's with her. It's just too slow. Got to be a lot more instinctive to get in and over the ball.
And Mia Venner with the turnover. She's very powerful for that slender frame, the young winger. But what I will say is it has been almost 15 minutes since Gloucester Hartpury's last score, so Quins, defending in their own 22 under all sorts of pressure, are doing well to hold out the cherry and white avalanche. Jones somehow magics the ball to Matthews. A fine offload from Monaghan. Globetrotter offloads from all of the Gloucester Hartpury forwards, and Rachel Lund again carrying thunderously. Mackenzie brings down Bethany Lewis. Hunt to Jones, to George, absolutely whipping that one out to Venner, who finds Singh on her inside, who shows a clean pair of fields and streaks away. Well, they call themselves the circus. I hope you're entertained.
I, for one, definitely am entertained. The width that they get it through, and the confidence builds. You could just feel it from them, and they're just performing so well. A lovely, lovely try there, beautiful running from Singh, and lovely link play as well.
Yeah, we will restart. We'll restart.
What a hammer blow that is, right before half-time. Just as we were admiring the way that Harlequins had held out Sean Lynn's women. How about this from Claykie George? Werner, cool as a cherry and white cucumber. Finding Singh in support. And plenty of time to help herself out with the conversion. Brings that infield. Puff of the cheeks. A little raise up onto those prolific toes. And now the chance to bring up 30 points. It's not to be, the flags stay down, but 29-0 is a pretty emphatic scoreline with just seconds remaining on the half. Cat Merchant has popped down to join Lauren Smith in studio so we can enjoy this again. Before we get their analysis at half-time, and I believe that Lauren has lined up a couple of very special guests.
Played by Gloucester,
It's a very short kick-off. Alex Matthews isn't fooled though. Catlin makes the tackle. Surely Gloucester Hartpury can't conjure up a sixth score. Hunt decides it's not worth the trouble. Kicks it towards the sheds. Making their appreciation heard, and both of them will head to the dressing rooms. Gloucester Hartpury up 29 points to 0. 5 scores, that's the bonus point in the bag. Aldcroft, Monaghan, Lewis, Matthews and Singh. 5 big game players on the score sheet. And Harlequins, well, they've hardly had a sniff of possession or territory. They had a mountain to climb coming into this one. After Bristol's heroics at Shaftesbury Park yesterday, the mountains just got steeper. Mo Hunt heading for the sheds. She'll be a very happy skipper. Her sides are up by 29 points to 0. And I've just had a glimpse down at our little studio where there is the ultimate Premier 15's girl band waiting. Let's head to the lead singer, Lauren Smith. Who you got?
Well, 5 tries coming into half-time. I mean, that's a pretty impressive start from Gloucester Hartpury, isn't it? And we've had some fun watching on you in commentary, getting very, very animated.
Honestly, jumping up and down. This is such exciting stuff to watch.
It really is, isn't it? But Gloucester showing very much that there are no chinks in their armour. They came here to really lay down a marker.
I think it's the dominance for me which is so impressive in terms of the set piece, to be able to win scrum penalties, to then be able to have just the mindset of being able to quick tap, go wide, the backs are carving up as well. It's the way that they link. Claykie George, I cannot say enough good things about. Like, her passing has just been next level.
Well, I am delighted to say that we do have 2 women in studio alongside us to help us go through the half-time tries in Gwen Crabb and Sarah Bonner. I mean, 2 quite big name people. I mean, first and foremost, how are you feeling about holding, both of you, an English rose in your hand?
Yeah, I'm not impressed. I actually did ask if there was a Welsh one, but unfortunately not, but it's all right.
So, someone who's smiling and feeling quite happy about proceedings. Sarah, what's your initial take off what you've just seen out there?
Like, picking up on what Kat said earlier, we've lost the dominance battle in both attack and defence. We've had very little platform to attack from, but defensively, we need to stop Gloucester's momentum. They're just getting on top of us, and it's really hard to then get that attacking platform off the back of it.
I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, because we're about to go through all of the tries once more. But what a start. 3 minutes on the clock, Kat, and they're straight over with a beautiful driving ball straight off the training paddock.
Yeah, and the lineouts were spoken about in depth last week and not being good enough for this very, very good Gloucester side, but no sign of that today. Straight away, kick for the corner, 5 metres out. Quins initially do very well. They are in there, they've got numbers, and it does look like it's stopping, but the leg drive that they managed to get, and Gloucester just works so well to get it twisting, get it turning, get it just right to then time it well to score.
And Gwen, Kelsey Jones there, she had the Six Nations probably of her career as well. A handy woman to have at the back controlling matters.
Yeah, definitely. She's brought that momentum back into club. You know, she's a great player to play with. She's always got a smile on her face. She's buzzing around the pitch, and yeah, when she's finishing tries like that, you can't complain.
And then 4 minutes later, I mean, they came thick and fast, didn't they? Once you got your hand on the ball, the bit between the teeth. And
yeah,
then you
definitely.
had this beauty.
Yeah, I think this just shows a great variety in our game. It's quite hard to defend when we've got, you know, the attacking platform of our set piece, but then also putting in cheeky options like this, and then for a second row to finish this, oh, sensational.
Well, you had a free opportunity to take that. That cheeky little grubber was obviously a little bit of a Hail Mary, but it's the class of this team that allows these to be pulled off.
And it's how casually she just does it, just drops it on there, and Sam Monaghan does really well pick it up as well on the move to score it. And they do just roll the dice and they go, okay, yeah, we have advantage, why not? But it's not like, oh, I'm just going to kick it and see. It's logical. It is on when they go for it, and it's brilliant to see. This is the one
I know you're so excited
anyone else says,
about
this is amazing. Yeah, it was just so nicely weighted over the top, and it just allows them to get in and behind, and the speed of ball as well, the lines of running, the support play, they're just being so clinical today.
You were saying, weren't you, about Bethan Lewis and that leg drive and how it was just an absolute asset for her international duty. How used to you seeing moves like that from her?
Yeah, I think she's an asset to our team, and you know, I think it's another one with, you know, she's had the Six Nations of a lifetime, and to be able to bring that momentum back into club. Like every time she's got hands on the ball, you're expecting her to make game line, and I fear for the people that are up against her. I think she made 2 players concussed, I think, in the opening 2 games of the Six Nations, just from the power of her carry.
She's a beast, isn't she?
Yeah, she really is.
The silent assassin, an adequate nickname.
Yeah, definitely, and the consistency in her game now. She's having those performances week in, week out, and it's great to play alongside.
Another woman who really is impressive when she's got the ball in hand, Alex Matthews. Seeing there, it was a beautiful quick tap off the back of the scrum. Mo Hunt with such vision, but that's what you expect from Mo Hunt as well.
Yeah, great vision, but also the work rate from Alex Matthews to get up off said scrum where they've won the penalty. Work really hard to get wide in support to then score, and even as she's scoring, she's taking 2 people on. So it's it's that work rate, and again, I think that that belief in each other and knowing what each other's going to do, which comes from playing consistently. So you could think Mo isn't going to tap this. Alex gets up off the scrum and goes, actually, I know she probably is, so I'm going to work hard, get there, and then comes away with the try. So team-wise, they work so well together. They just know each other so well.
And that's what we saw as we're going into the break, and they've really turned the screw, haven't they? The 5th try, and we're only 40 minutes in, and it's a lovely team one.
Yeah, and it's really nice as well to see the backs getting their hands on the ball. We've, Singh did some really good work earlier on to get out of trouble from in their 22, and then flip it 2 minutes later and down this end scoring, and it's that link play between that works just so well, and it's they've got a tough ask now for Quins going in at half time. Something's got to change, and it's that they now have an opportunity for Turner to speak to them and turn things around.
You can open your eyes, Sarah. I'm so sorry you had to relive all that.
Endure that.
What, in your eyes, can Harlequins change?
We need to come out and win the dominance battle. That's going to be huge for us. If we can just stop Gloucester's momentum, give ourselves an attacking platform. We've got world-class back 3. Get the ball to them. Let's see what they can do.
Saving grace in that first half was the fact that you are able to turn Gloucester over in your own 22. There's been a number of try-saving occasions, but actually then you're kicking it straight back.
Yeah, and not even that, just our basics. We're getting stripped in attack. We're not allowing ourselves to build that platform and then having to go into another defensive set. That's tiring on the legs, tiring mentally. We just need to get that little bit of dominance back in the game.
Kat, the scrum battle. Obviously your area of expertise. Why am I asking you? Gwen.
I am offended. Yeah, please answer. Yeah.
The scrum battle, heavily in Gloucester's favour, looking really good. Given that the set piece last week was not necessarily the strongest we've seen from Gloucester, that must be really pleasing.
Yeah, it's definitely an area, the scrum that we pride ourselves on. We're very lucky with the strength and depth that we have in the front row as well, to be able to have so many international front rows, so starting team through the bench and even missing out on the team each week, and that allows us to bring that into training as well, because not only have we got an international starting front row, but we've also got the front row for them to train against, and I think that's very valuable, and it means that when we come up against other international front rows, then it makes our lives a lot easier, and also we build momentum on it in the game, like we really buzz off the momentum that we gain in the scrum, so yeah, it's good.
You can really see that in the celebrations when it does go well. I mean, Kat, that set piece battle, we definitely spoke about it pre-match being something that we would be keeping an eye on, line out in particular, but that seems to be really shored up this week.
Yeah, line out seems to be massively fixed from last week, but this compounds Quinn's problem, because if you can't win your own scrums, if you can't win your line-outs, which they did get better towards the second half, but they haven't actually had the opportunity to play. Anytime they do have it, they're in their 22, so they have to kick it really. The one time they tried to play it out, Dow got caught, turnover, penalty. So they're really stuck at the minute, and the main thing to fix for them is that set piece. It's fronting up, because as soon as they do that, they then have the opportunity to play, because they have world-class players out there that are just not getting the ball in space.
Yeah. And we know how great they can be, and we've seen them do it time and time again. And Sarah, you've just signed a contract extension to stay with Quins. Just from kind of an inside perspective, how this team functions. Why was it such an easy decision for you to stay?
Oh look, Quins both on the pitch and off the pitch, are doing, they're like at the forefront, they're doing a lot for the women's game, and it's an exciting place to be. We've got new coaches in this season, we've got Chisholm adding to the coaching staff, it's going to be exciting. We're in a bit of a transition phase, and I'm just looking forward to having another season or two kind of bedding in and seeing what we can do and how we can progress.
Well, thank you so much for your insights and joining in our half-time. I'm sorry it was a little bit more difficult for you than it was for you. And now I'm going to show you the Red Roses and how they won.
Brilliant! A gift that keeps on giving for you guys.
That's count stick together.
But yes, in front of a packed-out HQ, well, the Red Roses, they lifted that Grand Slam trophy. Let's relive a few moments of it, because it was a pretty phenomenal past few weeks.
England-France is always a tough game. Definitely going to have to take a moment to take it all in on Saturday.
I think when you get to a game like this, when you sort of know the outcome of the tournament lies on it, you're always going to get nervous.
I'm just super excited. A record-breaking crowd at Twickenham HQ. It doesn't get much better.
Whatever happens in the build-up, I need to go out onto that pitch and nail my role and do everything I can for the team to get the win that we want.
Let's get excited. This is the last big push. Roses on red. Red Roses!
We have got plenty of players who can win one-on-one battles. That's what we want to create. Okay, there won't be many pictures where it's just space in front of you this weekend. But what there will be is one-on-ones, and I'd back us in most one-on-ones against any team.
Be true to what we've done. Yeah? We've built our game. Okay? Let's get it on the park today. Pick our moments. Be confident. Do the things that we've been doing really well. Play the game. Don't play the occasion, play the game. Time for action. We'll do all our talking afterwards. Right? Well, let's just go, play the game, be the best version of ourselves. And if they're better than us, fair play. Okay? But I bet they won't be.
It's the 2023 Grand Slam decider. England against France.
Which, by the way, you can catch on the England Rugby YouTube channel of Ellie Kildunn, Lucy Packer and Abby Dow celebrating together at Twickenham. They're not celebrating just yet at Kingsholm, but let's see what the second half holds. Coming up next week, we've got another double header of live streams. Sale Sharks are hosting Gloucester Hartpury, so it's been a lot of Gloucester Hartpury recently, and for a reason, they are looking mightily impressive. And then the 28th on Sunday, Saracens up against Bears, another crucial one as the playoffs picture begins to take shape. Based on yesterday's performance, Kat Merchant, who's just arrived in commentary beside me, you wouldn't put it past Bristol to go and give Saracens a good old rattle.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that game. I'm really kind of excited about that one, because Bristol just had an edge to them, which we've not seen for a while, I don't think. So actually, for them, they're going to be targeting that game.
Absolutely will be. And then on Saturday, the 3rd of June, potentially a final preview, possibly a playoffs preview. Who knows what Saracens could pull out of the hat in the last couple of rounds. But Gloucester Hartpury up against Exeter Chiefs. That should be another absolute doozy. What Lauren neglected to mention there in that lovely chat with Sarah Bonner about her contract extension is the extension announcement. Now, Kat, did you see that on Twitter?
I didn't know.
It was absolutely amazing. They gave Jade Conker-Roberts and Sarah Bonner a free run of the Harlequins team room, and they turned it into a sort of homage to all things Scottish. There was shortbread, there were Tunnocks biscuits, there was iron brew, there were thistles and tartan everywhere. They were playing O Flower of Scotland, and then they announced the extensions. How crucial that those two stay at the club next season.
Oh, massive. Like, just so, and Sarah Bonner, like, she is such a big loss to this side, because again, I referenced that game where they played Saris, and she was making line breaks so important, and you know, they are huge names in the game, and they are essential to how Harlequins play. So what a lovely way to make them feel integrated into the squad even more so, and celebrate their Scottish heritage as well.
Absolutely. Now, if you're wondering why we're operating some sort of Sean Lynn creep cam, I just want to reassure you that is a can of water. That's what it looks like at Kingsholm in these parts. He's not tucking into a celebratory beer just yet. But, Kat, I do get the sense that in 40 minutes' time, he will have a great big smile on his face, because Gloucester Hartpury have been immense.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I can't, like, creep cam is the funniest thing I think I've today. But, yeah, he's got a smile on his face now. He's such a relaxed guy as well, and all just so lovely whenever you chat to him before the game, and laid back with it. And I can confirm it is water. I have the same can myself. It does feel weird having a can of water, especially that shape. Yeah, he'll be pretty happy with his side's performance today.
We don't have long enough to list all the brilliant things that Sean Lynn is doing at Gloucester Hartpury. The integration of the Women's National League university side, the college students who come through the ranks at Hartpury, the mentorship that is a part of signing for Gloucester Hartpury. If you arrive as a senior player, you are told that you will have to take youngsters beneath your wing, and you will have to nurture that next generation of Welsh roses, red roses rather, of Welsh internationals. It's a really special place to be. We were just hearing what a special place Harlequins is to be, and you can see that in the signing of Babala Latsha from South Africa. She wouldn't go to a club that she didn't fervently believe in. Such a talent, such an inspirational individual. Well, and out through that rather fabulous balloon-festooned tunnel. Looks a little bit like a Mario Kart course. Come the Gloucester Hartpury players. They're up 29 points to 0. It's Quins who will get us back underway. Arabella McKenzie is spinning the ball on her fingertip. And now Gloucester Hartpury, with the wind at their backs, even more of a formidable prospect. Here we go, Harlequins with 40 minutes to keep themselves within striking distance of a spot in the semi-finals. They've never missed out on the playoffs, so there could be 2 bits of history made today. Gloucester Hartpury never beaten Quins by more than 11 points. Harlequins have never been out of the top 4. It's a different landscape, the Premier 15s right now.
Just huge, I think people did actually used to just be like, okay, well, it's going to be a Quins Saris final. It felt a bit samey. But now, yeah, you've got Gloucester playing like this. You've got Bristol putting in results. Exeter have done some amazing results as well. So it really is now up in the air for who makes the final and who wins the final, which is great to see for the game.
really is. We love a bit of jeopardy. Well, Catlin gets that one cleanly away, and Scott whips it to Brooks. And several changes from Harlequins, but we'll tell you about those in a minute, because here come Gloucester Hartpury hunting for a 6th already. Ball is with Matthews, and now Singh on the wing. Plenty of bodies in support. Hunt with lots of options lined up to her left, finds Monaghan. Ball dribbles backwards, but it's picked up by Jones. He bumps off Lauren Brooks. And reloaded they go again. Maud Muir, inside ball to Tatiana Hurds. 2 of the finest red roses blooming in the West Country sunshine. Look at the delight on Hurd's face.
And it was Tatiana Hurd that started that all off with the intercept. So Gloucester just defending in a way that turns into attack. So gets that intercept, and then the ball goes from one side of the pitch back to the other. Great line break, good offloading, and it is the speed at which they are scanning round. And those offloads, they happen at such an amazing tempo, which we'll see here as we go through. So the first tackle to floor, but then thinks it's going to get turned over, so actually goes for the roll. Numbers in now, where it starts to speed up.
From here.
And here's the line. That's the line there. Really good. And lovely offload as well. Just sights really tracks across. Brilliant, brilliant work.
30 seconds, let's go.
90 seconds played of the second half. Gloucester Hartpury with 7 points in the bag. The conversion goes over. Maud Muir with the try assist, and Tatiana Hurd of her first of the day. How's that for coming out of the blocks hard?
Oh, that's exactly what Gloucester wanted, but from a Quins perspective, they had a chance in the change rooms to chat through things, and it's going to be a very long second half for them if they don't really step up here. But yeah, there's that line break. Leg drive, good offload. And it's the difference between good sides and great sides. It's that offloading ability.
Time on.
Muir's been running those hard and direct lines all afternoon. She earned that assist. Ellie Kildunn, who you might have seen on one of our graphics, had left the field. That was a blood replacement. She's back on now, and in fact, she's herring after this kick. Takes it cleanly. Balletic as ever. Little chance to stretch her legs, but instead she pops it up to Mackenzie. Swift ball from Packer to Latcher.
Leave it 7.
Great carry from the Springbok. First woman in South Africa to go professional. Abby Dow unable to pick that one up quickly and cleanly.
Tackle away!
It's Rugman who has it now.
Thank you.
And Jones in at scrum half. Great carry from Matthews. Ball juggle. How she clung to that, I do not know. Velcro on her fingertips. Relentless from Gloucester Hartpury. They've got their foot on the throat of Harlequins, and they're not letting up. Cat Merchant said it, they are a great side these days. Monaghan has been everywhere, omnipresent this afternoon. Here goes Lund. Robinson and Kildunn managed to bring her down, but there's plenty of space on the wing. Emma Singh only needs an inch. She'll have it.
Just too easy. Mo knew as soon as she passed that to her as well, she's like, yeah, we're in here. It's just very, very casual, but not in a way that's complacent, in just a way that comes from playing with confidence, playing with belief. Well, of course, if we give her an inch, she's going to score, and that's exactly what it looks like. So getting themselves into good positions. Natasha Hurd, casual pass to start with. The nice pass across Lund here. Kildunn's gone too high on her. She manages to get her leg drive going, and then just again that flat pass, which I've been talking about all day, but it just beats defences.
It's the 6th try of the season for Emma Singh. Lining up a really tricky conversion. Here come the dance moves. Well, I'll tell you what, the pre-kick routine, whatever it is working. That was a wonderful strike. 43 plays 0.
Just, they have really shown up today, and just the way that they're doing things is just that absolute clinicalness
Leave it
of
now,
it,
Red.
fantastic.
Quick
Scrum advantage,
restart.
over.
And now Tooley has it on the wing. Looks to offload it up the inside. Packer pounces upon it. Rugman with voracious line speed almost strips the diminutive scrum half. So it's Kildun who's in at number 9. Leaney has a carry. So too does Latcher. Ball knocked on.
Oh, just so frustrating for them. You can actually feel it, and just nothing seems to go their way. And when they are trying to get it to their danger players, they're putting big passes into Dow, but it's gone behind her. She's got loads of players running at her. It almost seems like it's in a panic. Whereas when Gloucester throw the ball out wide to their danger runners, they're doing it in a way like, yeah, here you go, here's the ball in space. And it's just so different, the mindset to it and the impact that that then has.
Gloucester Hartpury are the quickest starters in the league in both attack and defence. How handy is that as a player to be able to start that quickly and build a bit of a buffer? Does it really take the pressure off?
Hugely, hugely, because it doesn't. What I used to like playing was I'd always wait until I had my first carry. You just want your first carry, you want to get into the game. And what Gloucester do is they get most of the team's hands on the ball within the first few minutes. Everybody goes, and I think that really helps settle everyone into it, and then they can just do what they're good at, and that is score tries very early on.
Thank you to those of you just joining us for our Sean Lynn documentary that we're bringing you this afternoon. We're following him all around Kingston.
With the creep cam, we've got him.
Yeah. I'll have to come up with a nicer expression for that.
No, I like it. I like it.
He's a very happy man indeed, because his side are now leading 43 points to 0. For reference, 40 is the most points that Gloucester Hartpury have ever put on Harlequins. That was back in 2018, which was also the last time they defeated the women in quarters at home. I sense they're about to fix that. George thuds a kick through, eating up territory.
I think we've got to, again, let's give back more attention than as well, because this is a side that has put 50 points on Saracens this season. It's put 40 in the 47 minutes so far, 43 points. This is huge. These are massive teams that they're playing against historically, and to get these results is fantastic.
Same for you,
9 right there. 25 on Exeter, on the road at Fortress Sandy Park.
Thrown over there, not straight.
You're right, records tumbling all over the place, but the line out again proving problematic.
Hang on.
That's 4 lost now, 4 for Harlequins.
And when you don't have much possession, the possession that you do have, I mean, she has like 5 metres. There's not straight, and then there's that. She really has to go on the angle. Most of the time it's the subtleties in the air, but that one, yeah, not one to look for the replays.
There's
I don't think.
a sub, so they're going to need to make a decision. I'll let you
Kane. How much will they miss her next season?
Hugely, hugely. When I saw that one, actually, excited for her, but also was like, oh, that's going to hurt Quins. That's a signing that they're definitely going to be sad about.
Okay, just step out.
Well, Alex Matthews is done for the afternoon. 48 minutes played and a massive impact made. Quickly off the line out. Come Gloucester Hartpury. Line out tries are normally bread and butter for Harlequins. But that set piece has gone walkies this afternoon, and it's the Cherry and Whites who now find themselves back in the 22. Aldcroft running hard into Tooley and Brooks. Big clear out from Singh. Hunt able to ship it straight onto Beckett. Options on the blind side, options on the open. It's mopped up, messy but mopped up.
Lifted.
Well, tricksy play coming in there from you. But again, everything going the way of the hosts. George rises with the ball.
7.
They'll have another bite at the Cherry.
No heads now.
Harlequins turn it over though.
Thank you.
Can they get it to their backs?
Wingers
Kicked
on.
away. Looking to split the backfield cover for Gloucester Hartpury, but Singh and Venner are wise to it. And offsets Emma Singh. Maisie as you like. On with all the power to go to the balletic prowess. Kelsey Jones.
No, not now, you missed the ball.
A powerful clear out. George finds Monaghan looking for the offload, but there's no one there, so she hits the turf, and it's Hunt to George. This is Rugman. Out on the wing is Lund. 10 metres shy of what will be an 8th score of the afternoon.
No, leave it now. Thank you.
Kat was right alongside me. These are big numbers. These are big scalps. Aldcroft. Such an engine on her. She has gone and gone all afternoon. Hurd, little dummy, finds Venner. What a score! Gloucester Hartpury have their 8th, and it's a peach.
What a little powerhouse from Venner there. She's not of the biggest of wingers, and we've seen her speed, we've seen her footwork, but that was route 1. That was, I'm running really hard over this try line, regardless of the defence there, and really good and powerful from her. So the build up here, so we can see the long kick from Kildun puts the chaser. We talk about head-to-heads, actually Singh does her here. Great footwork on the inside, leaves her standing, carries on going. This is brilliant from Singh, and then eventually they manage to bring her down and then recover it, and then yeah, we'll have a look at the try, not just the amazing line break from Singh, and then hands from Mo, hands from Hurd, and then look at that, just absolute direct running between 3 defenders there. Thought she might go for the outside, but knew she backed herself to have it, so fair play from the young winger.
Do you think that Emma Singh and Mia Venner went round to Rachel Lund's house for breakfast this morning?
I think, yeah, whatever the Gloucester team had. Mind you, we saw them in the coffee shop, didn't we, just before? We had the same coffee as them, so we must be on fire, Claire.
Where are my boots? Where's my gum guard?
Yeah,
Let me have a go.
I'm on. I did just sprint down to Lauren at half-time, so yeah, I'm feeling pretty pumped.
It was impressive. Not quite for Singh at that time, but very much involved in the 5 points that preceded the 2 that just went begging. Some changes for Gloucester Hartpury. Bianca Blackburn is on in the place of Mo Hart, and that was the big cheer you heard going up. Sam Monaghan has been replaced, so Georgia Brock has entered the fray. Shuan Lillicrap is also on in the place of Alex Matthews, so the changes are being rung, but what an amazing feeling it must be, Kat, to be able to ring changes and take off internationals like this, but just replace them like for like.
Oh, it's that. It's that ability to know that this game is, you know, they've put them away. They've put amazing tries, 48-0, but then the quality that's coming on, you know, to mention, you know, Bianca Blackburn's been in the Prem for a long time, real quality player, and it's nice to see her get some game time and actually see what she can do, because when it comes to semi-finals and finals, you need the depth of your squad, so they need to be getting game time.
Nicky George has also left the field. Oh, she hasn't. She's still out there, actually. So Flaky George still in the backfield. We haven't yet.
I was going to be gutted then, and what can I talk about? I'm just going to talk about her flat passes all game.
Oh, I think you'd find something, Kat. You've been loving this one. Catlin finds Leaney, and it's her fellow Wallaroo, Chancellor, who adds a shoulder to them all, which isn't going anywhere particularly quickly. There it is, now the forward momentum. Lauren Brooks adds some heft. Packer stands behind them all, barking orders, guiding her charges, but referee tells her to use it.
Down by Blue.
It's got to go. Oh, it's brought down. Thwarted by the Cherry and Whites.
Yeah, and just nothing going this Quins team's way. They finally got the line out. Thought they were going to build some phases, but it's just not their day today.
I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Pressure get into them, do you think, or do you just think not turned up?
I'll just check. You okay?
I think that's a really interesting one. I think pressure getting to Harlequins in a way doesn't factor into it for me, because this was an all-or-nothing game, and actually it must be quite liberating with the backs that they have and some of the fantastic ferocious forwards they have who thrive on physicality and combative rugby. This is an option to just go into the bath and grab, go grab the kitchen sink and lob it at Gloucester Hartpury, and that's
Set
not
up left for each
materialised.
other,
So
so if
perhaps
this is
the
the mark
latter.
here, so you just step
Yeah, I
left.
think they've just been shocked today. I think they knew they probably had a battle on their hands, but didn't know exactly what Gloucester were bringing with them, and they have really stepped up in their performances. But yeah, Quinn's seriously lacking today.
Also casting an eye over the try scorers for Gloucester Hartpury, and considering the manner of those tries, there's such variety to it. So even if Harlequins had managed to figure something out and foil one method, Gloucester would just go back to the drawing board, reach into their box of tricks and pull out something else. And that's why they're going to be so difficult to beat this season.
Yeah, they've just got such a varied game about them, and I think potentially last week seeing those chinks in their armour would be, which we've discussed at length last week and here. This is good for them because actually they need to discover those chinks. They need to discover them now. They don't need to discover them in the final, or the semi-final. So I'm jumping ahead of myself. But so it's nice that they can find that and then respond in the way that they have this week.
Also, Gloucester Hartpury's end of season run in their last 4 rounds: Loughborough Lightning on the road, Harlequins at home, Sale Sharks on the road, and Hayward Road is a difficult place to go, and then Exeter at home. Those are 4 really tough games, but I suspect Sean Lynn wouldn't have it any other way, because now they can build into knockout rugby.
Yeah, definitely, and it's about peaking at the right times, which we said Bristol are certainly doing, and Gloucester seem to be doing as well in that run.
It's going to be a really, really exciting next month at Premier 15's HQ, so make sure you stay with us. Follow all the right social channels, watch the highlights, tune into the live streams, buy yourself a ticket, put your bum in a seat, you won't regret it. Harlequins with a tiny foothold, a penalty on the cusp of the 22.
Holding on.
And relief for them as well, because this is their first opportunity, so it'll be interesting to see what they do, if they just go, right, we're going to take 3 points to get something from it, or whether they go, there you go, Brennan McKenzie's lined up, they want to go for more than that, they want pride, they don't want to not cross that line, so a lovely kick actually as well. I thought that went in between the 10 and the 5 there, but as it is, normally line out so solid for them, and driven line out, so for them this is really, really key they get this right.
Well, they've lost 3 of their 8 line outs.
Yeah, who do you want?
Lauren Torley leaving the field.
1 and 3 red.
Bethany Wilcock is on. Such an exciting young
Twins
talent.
14.
A real breakthrough 2021. Found herself in the Six Nations. Training squad, was involved in that famous final for Harlequins, and then suffered a horror injury and was out for 413 days. But she's back this season. Be really good to hopefully see her get some time on the ball. As Gloucester Hartpury change over 2 of their props, Maud Muir and Laura Delgado. Had a very good afternoon. But it's all about Harlequins forwards now, because they've managed their drill at the line out. They've peppered the blind sides.
Leave it now,
They've
Red.
met a slightly immovable object, so time for some width. Hannah Sims has a carry. Oh, just the metre out now. Could this be the moment that finally Harlequins get themselves on the scoreboard? They do, and it's Babawal Atcha. Just her 2nd score for Harlequins. That's 2 tries in 2 weeks for the Springbok. That will mean an awful, awful lot.
Yeah, to Quins and to her as well, because that's some good stats as well. You can see the smile on her face actually done that, but that's important, because it just shows that actually, no, we have still got this, and they can build in that confidence, because actually when it goes right, they are normally very good at driven lineouts, and they've shown that. And then that composure and the calmness, which we haven't seen from them so far in this game, and then a good pick to go across, and then a nice finish as well. Just a strong finish.
Yeah, James, if you buzz...
Langi Tuima kicked 10 out of 12 last week in the game changer up against Wasps. And she took the drop conversion there, nailed it. And definitely the right decision, because Quins want to capitalise on that feel-good factor.
And here's the carry, you can see on her tiptoe, she is bursting to go. Good legs drive across. She really wanted that one, and that's sometimes what you want from your subs coming on. Well, it's always what you want, but yeah, they want them to have that impact and just to add that energy to the team.
I'd also like to take this opportunity to shout out to the outfit that Atcha wore to the Premiership Rugby Awards week before last. She looked sleek, all in black, tailored, fantastic. Emma Singh carrying hard. It's been a muscular performance from the fullback today.
Leave 8!
She's done her job onto the high ball and off the tee. Plenty of sprightly footwork, but also not afraid to roll up her sleeves and get stuck into Harlequins' defence. Venner scampers backwards, chased by Wilcock, leaves her for dead. Manages to free a hand, but only manages to find Beth Blacklock.
Away.
Caps for Scotland this Six Nations. Only a few years into her rugby journey, started at Durham University and has taken to it like a duck to water. Packer to Mackenzie. Latcher over the top of Tuipulotu. The power between the pair of them. It's Latcher who wins that arm wrestle. Packer. Mackenzie, flat ball to Dow. Abby Dow spots the try line. There's only ever one outcome when Abby Dow gets the ball. She has been producing moments of magic for years, but I'll tell you what, we will never tire of them.
I love that you absolutely backed her there, because there was still a lot of work for her to do, and quick defenders as well on her tail. But she just, all she needs is the ball in the littlest bit of space. That's all she needs. And they finally managed to provide that for her. Had to dig it out the ruck. It wasn't pretty. A really lovely stretch. So actually, ball in space, there was no space. She created it, burst through. But look at this angle across. Rodman's right on her case, but Dowd has just got that extra gear in terms of pace. She really does.
I know exactly what you mean, and there was a flicker where I thought, have I backed her too soon? But correct me if I'm wrong, there's not another player in World Rugby where you would think, that's it, that's gone, that's a try.
I'm going to say this though, I would back Lydia Thompson in a similar way, where actually once she goes, I'm like, yeah, get her hands on the ball, she's going to score it. Actually, you know, Claudia McDonald as well, would you like back? I think there are actually a fair few people that you might go, yeah, do you know what, they've got it.
There we go. Yeah. I stand corrected. Yeah. 3 people who would have finished that one in difficult circumstances, but what a screamer from Abby Dow. Tuima adds the extra.
Who else is coming off?
And it's 48 up against 14. Harlequins with 14 points in a matter of minutes.
15.
Sarah Becker leaving the field. Sarah Beckett. And on comes Connie Powell, who of course, the next time these two sides meet, in all likelihood, will be wearing Harlequins colours.
Perfect.
Yeah, those signings coming out just make it even more interesting, don't they, as they finish off this season? Because when they come out now and you know a player's leaving, it's quite difficult, isn't it, to then get into the full swing of things because they know that they're going.
So Cockayne heading to Leicester Tigers, Connie Powell heading to Harlequins, Abby Dow heading to Ealing. Emily Robinson heading backwards towards her own try line. Big hit there.
Lost cause now.
From Connie Powell, what an entrance to the game. Flat pass from Mackenzie and on to Mew wearing that blue scrum cap. Normally found in the back row, but finds herself in the engine room this afternoon. Kildone, stripped by Lewis. Consummate pickpocket, the Welsh back rower, but it's Harlequins who have the ball back.
Yeah, good steal there as well, and got to say it's not Kildone's day today. You know, normally standout player, but just not had things go her way really. So she'll be disappointed with the strip. But you know, Lewis is strong. We spoke about that, and she's done very well this game. So it's the footwork initially, gets some strength, but difficult when you've got 2 people on you. It is really hard, and when you're trying to hand off, you've got it there. But yeah, not what you want to see as a player.
Set.
Freya Orkin wearing number 21 today, wore 14 the last time these two sides met, but she's in at scrum half and under plenty of pressure. Ball's back with Blacklock. Blackburn brings down Harlequins replacement fly half. And Orkin picks out Latcher to a Pilotu.
Leave it now, Red. Ball's here.
Spins her through the washing machine and dumps her unceremoniously to turf.
Wingers on.
It's hoisted high by Mackenzie. Lund unable to field it. Venner's there though. Gloucester Hartpury, they will not have enjoyed conceding 2 tries like that. They will be looking to get straight back in the driver's seat. George finds third. Flat pass to Sophie Bridger. Orange boots. Whirling towards the try line. Bridger acting as scrum half. What a hit from Latcher.
That'll do 9.
I think that was Georgia Brock on the receiving end of that one. She'll be thinking about that for the next few minutes.
Leave it now!
Fine line speed here from Harlequins.
No blue!
Forcing Gloucester Hartpury to just take a little bit of pace off things and take route one, but they do come up with the penalty.
Yeah, playing again, relying on that patience, and as you just mentioned, they're having 2 tries in quick succession against. We saw it last week with Loughborough, who did very similar, came with 3 quick tries against, and you almost had to say what happened, did Gloucester switch off, whereas they don't want that to happen again. Quins really stepped up, fair play to them, they played very well, but Gloucester have controlled this entire game, minus that 5 minutes, and they want to get back in control of this.
Where the 7 was is perfect.
One stat I'd just like to bring your attention to is missed tackles for the afternoon. Harlequins have missed 19 in 65 minutes. Gloucester Hartpury, 1.
Okay, timing here then, please.
Some stats as well for a defensive effort like that, when they have the likes of Dow, and they've got players like that in there. So to only have missed 1 tackle is incredible.
Advantage, 7 entry.
Here's Neve Jones on hooking duties just then, throwing in at the line out. She's someone who doesn't miss many tackles.
Ball is here.
Made 23 out of 23 against Loughborough last week, but here goes Bianca Blackburn, quick to rise, flying third, finds Sophie Bridger. Gloucester Hartpury have their 9th of the afternoon. They are running rampant. And again, another example of how well they work together and how they click as a team. Bianca Blackburn, just like Mo Hunt would do, went for that quick tap, and then the reactions from the rest of her team to get to her. That's the important part, because she could just tap that, go off on her own, but she doesn't. She goes, team works really well, so she sees the penalty clearly in front of the ref, taps it. Players aren't 10, they can't tackle her anyway, but Bianca moves that ball away. Good to her, good pass across, great finish as well. So just really nice team try there. It was Sophie Bridger, you can see just having a drink there, who finished it off, her 7th of the campaign. She only scores against the big dogs, 1 against Exeter, 3 against Saracens this year. That's a stat, isn't it? That the Exeter game was the opener of the season, and that was a lovely try. It was just a beautiful out to inline, really hard, and she's yeah. Imagine having a quality player like Sophie Bridger on your bench to come on. Like, it's just, yeah, it's fantastic. It really is an abundance of riches, a real bumper harvest of cherries at Gloucester. Claky George adds the extras there. It's 55 against 14.
And that quick reactions there from Blackburn, and a nice movement across, good hands, and Hurd, you know, could have just carried it herself and potentially got caught short, but she doesn't. She offloads, she trusts Bridger on her outside shoulder to get the job done.
It's been processional by Gloucester Hartpury at points. They will head up to the Corpac Stadium to face Sale Sharks next weekend, brimming with confidence. If you were Sean Lynn, Kat, and you were the head coach of this Gloucester Hartpury side, playing this brilliantly with this much momentum, Sale's not an easy place to go, but would you look to manage bodies, or do you go full strength from now until potentially a final?
I would manage, another one for the Kildon to want to ignore today, but I think I would give some of the players, like potentially Bridger, Blackburn, those players, like maybe give them a start, because actually it shouldn't matter who starts, who finishes the game. It's working it across, and the replay team have decided they want to embarrass Kildon a little bit here, so they go for that and just takes their eye off it. And I think once you haven't had a lot of ball all game, those errors start to build up in your head and can feel pretty brutal.
Definitely had a tough afternoon of it by her lofty standards, because she had a barnstorming Six Nations. You can just see the cut on her nose there. She took a ball or a boot to the face towards the end of the first half and has looked rattled since.
Yeah, and that can be enough just to shake you. And when your confidence goes, it's just in the back three, if you don't get the ball a lot, when you do get it, there's pressure. So that could be what's going on as well.
If you're a back three member of Gloucester Hartpury, you've had all the time on the ball you could possibly wish for this afternoon. It's Lund who has it now. Placed backwards. And it's tipped on from Allcroft. Now this is Jones with the carry.
No, go back.
Blackburn finds Lewis. How many times have we said her name this afternoon? And again they go. Lengthening shadows on the turf here at Kingsholm. 10 minutes remaining of this one, and a burst through, and it's Rugman, of course it is!
Do you know what, when you said that the Gloucester back three haven't had much ball today, I was thinking in my head, well, actually Rugman hasn't touched it as much as she might normally. She's such a try scorer. And then as we're thinking it and talking about it, there she goes. She just goes and poaches it, finds that ball. Great run, good finish.
14 tries in 16 rounds. She looks absolutely pleased as you like.
Yeah, so I think she comes in here, so yeah, that's it, through the ruck. You don't often see that often from wings, but she's not had as much ball in space as you can normally expect because so many people are making line breaks through the middle, so it's not like she's just not being passed to. But yeah, the decision to go in, I think Blackburn thinks she's going to pick it, and actually, nope, it's gone and I'm on my way.
60 points, Kat, 60, but equally only 14 conceded. Which of those two numbers do you think will please Sean Lynn, wherever he is? I'm sure we got a shot of him somewhere. Which of those will please him the most?
Where are you? Come on. So yeah, the 60. The 60, that is a relentless score. I mean, you've got to be impressed with the defence as well, with only one missed tackle stat to date. But yeah, 60 points on any team is some ask. But to put it on Quins, who have been a top 14 every single time they've been finalists, most years other than last year. So yeah, that's massive. And yeah, just Rugman just showing off. I'd say actually there, just showing off her pace.
Just peacocking.
Yeah.
We're carrying on.
Well, Siobhan Lillicrap's just getting a little bit of attention at the moment, which is why we haven't quite kicked off yet. But here we go. Mackenzie rakes it onto the cusp of the 22. Werner flings it backwards to Bridger, who might not thank her winger for that one. There were plenty of Quins players rushing up. Now this is Powell looking to run into a few of her future teammates.
Back.
Lynn told me in the week that she's a massive loss. He would have loved to have kept her. She's such a talent on and off the field, a real learner, a real workhorse. Kildun now looking to make amends. And that's a positive contribution. Almost looked to have lost it through traffic, but managed to cling on. Orkin to Latcher, ball loose. It's Rowena Burnfield now, the England half centurion. And Orkin to Blacklock. Katie Mew, tackled by Niamh Jones. The Irish woman who'll tackle anything at all times. A stupendous talent. What a signing for a Gloucester Hartpury side, already brimming with world-class players.
Yeah, first player.
Jenny Cronish did look to lose that, but it's come back the way of Harlequins, and now Abby Dow in the centre of the park. Takes Niamh Jones to stop her, and Jones stays down. Ball up over the top, chipped, gathered by Ellie Kildun, not gathered by Ellie Kildun. It's Rugman who pounces upon it. Jones is limping back into the Gloucester defensive line. It's an offensive line now. They've turned it over, back into the pocket, knocked down by George. That is a hen's tooth of an error from the Welsh fly half.
Knock-ons.
Yeah, she's had a pretty faultless game. So, but that one there gives Quins, and you've got to say there's a lot of bodies on the floor. There are some sore bodies out there, and there's some big hits been going in throughout this. So Lange-Twema putting it through, hoping to get Kildun on the end of it to pick it up, because we know how pacey she is if she does get it, but can't keep hold of it. And then this one just a basic error that was in the basket there for her, and just lost it.
All okay? Thanks, man.
What does it say about the way today's match has been played that the leading tackler for Harlequins is Arabella Mackenzie with 12?
Well, she is a very defensive player, and she does love, like, I think one of the first things when she came over here, she was like, yeah, my defence is my thing, it's what I do. But it does show that the way that Gloucester want to play, they're obviously going through the middle and then they're looking to get out wide. But yeah, very impressive stats from 12 in the game.
There's another impressive stat for you. Gloucester Hartpury have run a kilometre combined today. You don't see that very often.
I mean, that's incredible, the metres made, but the 198, that is dire times for Quins, really. When you think of the pace that they have out there and the metres should made, but less than 200 metres, that's a shocking start.
We did hear Sarah Bonner say at half-time that this is a bit of a rebuild for Harlequins. They got a new head coach who came in very late in the day, of course. Amy Turner leaving the Red Roses, set up for the World Cup to come and join Harlequins. Can you see what they're trying to do here with the recruitments that they've made and the way that they're trying to play? Oh, I love those Sophie Bridger masks. Those need acknowledging. Those are fantastic. They are great, aren't they?
Well, I think as Sarah Bonner said, they're trying to build on the off-pitch stuff as well, and that takes time. That's not something that's instant fixes on the pitch, but what it does do is it creates a culture. Get your culture right, which Gloucester have. Gloucester, people were speaking about their culture last year. There was a good vibe about them. They're building, and then suddenly they're in a really good place now. So these things do take time to build.
Got something I'll tell you about Harlequins culture in a moment, but let's see what comes off this scrum. Blacklock running hard and direct, exactly the sort of rugby that got her picked up by Brian Easton and running out for Scotland. Now it's Robinson, who only knows the direct route. Latcher hunting for a second, her third in Quins colours. Cronish awaits, but they go the other way. Mackenzie, acres of space, but no one in it. Abby Dow pins her ears back into foot race against Rugman. Brilliant tackle from the Gloucester Hartpury winger. I believe that's what they call a try-saver. Absolutely there, because again, when we're talking about backing people, Dow had got her before, but Rugman there showing her pace, that dogged determination. They are 60 points up. You can almost let, it doesn't matter if Dow scores, but that's not the attitude that they have, and that's not the attitude you can have as winners. So that was a really good tackle, and she jumped straight back on her feet after it as well. It's also one of the benefits of having the squad depth that Sean Lynn has available to him, because if Rugman doesn't make that tackle, he's got plenty of other wingers he can pick next week. Absolutely, but in a way that, in like such a positive way as well, I think. Absolutely. And he does back his players and gives them that confidence to be able to play and do what they do well. You can see the passion, the competitiveness, the enthusiasm, the camaraderie with which they play their rugby this year. Aldcroft. Heads down the short side. Slightly slower ball here for Blackburn. She finds George.
Now go.
Plenty of movement on George's bun as she puts her foot through that one. Little chip from Mackenzie. Ellie Kildunn scampering after it. There's someone inside, but the pass goes forwards and Hawkins unable to capitalise.
Yeah, that one's almost like heartbreaking to watch across, and she's clearly like in some kind of discomfort. A team should be coming to her, picking her up, because one bad game doesn't make you a bad player, so actually you need to be lifting her confidence, boost her up. You can see what she's trying to do here, keep the ball alive, get it inside, but it's good defence. It's coming across it, and then get a pick up off it, but just goes forward.
We're going to see what happens with this scrum, but I'm just putting you on warning, Kat. You're going to have to give us a player of the match in a couple of minutes.
That's all good, I've got it.
Ooh, exciting, answers on a postcard.
Bind!
So, Blackburn, that fabulous magpie camo cap, tops it in. It's Lewis playing at the base of the scrum. And just to make a couple of extra meters, it's 60 up against 14 with just 4 minutes left on the clock. And that is a rip snorter of a kick from George.
Yeah, really important. They've just exited really well. They've been able to get out of any trouble where they have been in there, which hasn't been often if we look at it, but able to just push across and then put pressure onto the line out as well.
Well, what I wanted to say about Harlequins culture is Amy Turner has introduced a weekly 10-minute long show and tell slot where a different player each week speaks about something they've done that they feel passionately about in recent times.
Shrika, I like it. We'll get to know each other off the pitch as well as on it, and then it will just help. You do more for your mates than you do for just teammates. So really like that.
Really nice innovation, and it'll be those bonds that are tested after today, because it's been difficult. Kildunn, speculative, over the top. Dow flies up to chase it, and somehow Ellie Kildunn comes up with the ball, chasing her own, helping out her mate Dow.
No, she's absolutely legal. Knock on first.
Twins will have the piss in on the other side of the pitch.
So getting some ball, and they're in the 22, which they've been so rarely, but we've seen that they can come away with scores, so they'll want to come away with something here.
Well, it's been a 31-14 second half, much more competitive. But even so, Harlequins have hardly had a chance to show us what they're all about this afternoon. Luckily, the hosts have provided plenty of entertainment.
Yeah, lots of entertainment, lots of tries.
Point! Set!
Scrum holds firm. Orkin, fingertip catch, and then a one-handed dummy from Mackenzie. 12 versus 12. Hurd makes the tackle. Kildun delaying the pass, opting instead to go it alone. She is so strong through contacts. Nice line from Catlin. They're 10 metres out now, Harlequins. Kronish, the US Eagle. And now Burnfield.
Leave it red!
Bones of steel, she described herself as once. Grew up on a family dairy farm. And claims to be absolutely made of iron as a result.
Ball's out.
Ball's loose. Pounced upon by Gloucester Hartpury. They'll look to exit here. The clock's nearing the reds, and it's been all about the red and white this afternoon. Clayton George finds halfway with that touch finder. What an afternoon she has had. And Kat, now's the time. Let's have it. Who has stood out to you today?
I think Lewis has been amazing. I think Mo Hunt obviously had a good performance. Rachel Lund has been good as well. But for me, Clayton George at 10, I've said her name so many times. It's not just about the flat passes, which are really important, but her kicking in the open play, the way she's ran this side, she's had an outstanding game today. So Clayton George for sure is player of the match for me.
She's a big game player because she was actually player of the match at Stonex when Gloucester Hartpury put a record score on Saracens.
That was also me. I'm a fan, apparently.
No, 7.
Well, they're going to absolutely obliterate their previous record of both a score put on Harlequins and a margin of victory. It's been George wearing 10 at the heart of that effort. But one final throw of the dice for Amy Turner's women. Lovely hands there from West. Manages to find the player on the supporting line. Mackenzie, one-handed juggle. Lewis and Hurd combined to complete that tackle, and now Orkin finding West. Big hit from Connie Powell. Gloucester Hartpury come up with the penalty, and that'll be it.
Tackle, didn't release
that will be the game.
Up again.
There's still a minute left to play, as our referee indicates. The result's been in the bag for a little while. And they will go hunting for a final score. It's buried deep in the corner, 15 metres out from George.
Quins. Come to me.
Yeah, they want to finish this game strong there. There's just a bit of a confusion.
Quins,
I think the stadium just announced Emma Singh was player.
Where you are
obviously
there.
we said Kagi, so we'll see what comes of that. But yeah, they're wanting to finish strong. They've done well. They were under pressure a little bit. Thought that Quins might get a score, but Gloucester are now right at this end of the pitch and probably going to get another one.
The ball was in the corner, brought down from the line out, and now it's 10 metres out. Now 9, now 8.
Now go back.
10 tries in the bag already, hunting for an 11th. As if today hadn't been emphatic enough already. Inside ball to Connie Powell, and that will be that. They're a side who've made history all season long, and they are not done yet. Gloucester Hartpury have an 11th of the afternoon, imperious at Kingsholm.
Just looks so easy. It just looks so effortless from them. Just the way that they're manipulating this Quins team, because Quins are not a bad team. They've been made to look bad today, and they've made some questionable errors. But Gloucester, when they do things well, they just that you've got options of runners on our outside, on our inside. You've got good leg drive. They don't just accept to tackle. They keep going. Speed of ball off the back of it, and it's that pass there, that tip on, which then makes it so difficult to defend.
They are going to take some beating.
it's that they have hugely shown their hand and been like, right, this is, you know, what we can play like and challenge on.
And there she is, your player of the match, Claky George.
Oh, you pronounce her name better than I do. Yeah, so yeah, we'll give you that. Yeah.
Flags go up, the conversion's over. We have a full-time score and it's absolutely massive. Gloucester Hartpury victorious yet again. Another one ticked off. 2 rounds remain before a historic semi-final. And as I said, they're not done making history just yet. A first home win against Harlequins since 2018 and the shattering of their previous best against the women in quarters. They've absolutely spoilt Kingsholm rotten this afternoon. It's full time in Gloucester. Gloucester Hartpury 67, Harlequins 14.
We'll head over to the corner.
Well, it's difficult, Cat Merchant, to know where to begin. But I think let's start with what you've just talked about, actually, the fact that Gloucester Hartpury have shown the rest of the league what they're all about. There's no sense that they're holding anything back here. Is that a sign of a side that are truly comprehensive and competent?
Yeah, they've got nothing to fear, really. They're not having to hide anything back. They just have to show up. And Gloucester know they're in the control of their own destiny, because if they play like they can play, I don't think they're beatable. It's only if they let another side rock them, they get into their head, or they don't quite fully play the game they know they can play. I think that's their only danger.
So just keep doing what you're doing, Cherry and Whites. Look at that, the tail of the tape. 16 played, 15 won. I believe we had one undefeated season from Saracens a few years ago, but this is impressive stuff from a side that haven't been in the top 4 before.
Yeah, and that's it. It's just so impressive, and they just started strong and they've stayed strong, and it's their strength and depth which has been absolutely key to what the performances they're putting in.
And then what about Harlequins, because they'll leave here empty-handed, no table points. Oh, we've just had an update. Turns out Lauren Smith has done the most brilliant fetching job and has got Claky George in our little pitch-side studio. So as Kat, as lovely as it is hearing from you, let's hear from the woman behind a record-breaking victory. Lauren and Claky, over to you.
Claky, an unbelievable performance for Gloucester out there today, and Cat Merchant has been waxing lyrical about your passing. Where has that come from? What's it taken to be that flat and that silky smooth?
I'm not sure, really. It's always been a part of my game. Just practice.
Lots and lots of practice. This squad is just getting better and better. It feels like it's really building. Has it always been the focus to peak at the right time, or is it just a case of everyone gelling together? What's going so right?
You know, since coming back from the Six Nations, we're really just taking one game at a time. We knew Quins were going to come here and throw everything at us. So I'm proud of the girls for that performance.
I would love to know what was said at half-time when you were already so far ahead, yet you came out and turned the screw even more.
Just keep doing what we're doing, really. That first 10 minutes, we knew the Quins were going to throw absolutely everything at us, and fair play to them in that second half. They really did come back at us. We stuck to our processes and we came through with a win.
You probably personally didn't get the game time in the Six Nations that you would have liked. Is that translating to these incredible performances we're seeing at domestic level?
I was unfortunate to get a bit of an injury at the start, but I got a little bit of game time at the end. And coming back into club, it's been going nicely, getting back with the squad, and it's just great to be back on the field with them, really.
Well, you are today's broadcast Allianz Premier 15's player of the match. Massive congratulations, and I hope you can enjoy this.
Thank you.
As modest as ever. She'll be delighted to go and join the rest of the circus. They really have lived up to their name this afternoon. Highly entertaining, and you can just see Mo Hunt as animated as ever, the skipper, and a big smile on the face of her co-captain, Zoe Aldcroft. Great to have Sean Lynn back on camera as well. It's felt a bit strange today when we haven't had him in shot. He'll be thrilled. Here he is now, having his say. When we caught up in the week, he said that he wants other sides to think, how do we stop this Gloucester Hartpury outfit? Well, next being tasked with that are Sale Sharks, because that's where the Premier 15's cameras are heading on Saturday next week. We'll be heading up to the Courtauld Stadium. Kick-off at 2 p.m. for that one. Cherry and Whites in shark-infested waters. But mind you, Sale were mightily impressive yesterday, so it won't be easy. Then that Sunday, that's a big one. The Wolfpack up against Bristol Bears at Stonex Stadium. A bit of a fortress for Alex Austerbury's women, who are rounding into a purple patch at just the right time in the season. We haven't yet figured out where we're going on the 3rd of June for our second live stream fixture. We'll take the juiciest one for you, but the one that is inked in, and you should absolutely be inking this in your end, is Gloucester Hartpury up against Chiefs. 17-25 it finished at Sandy Park when they met in the opening round, but they're both different beasts, and it will be an enthralling tussle. Here are the stats from the 80 minutes that we have just witnessed. And in fact, 81 points scored over the 80 minutes. So how's that for bang for your buck? Plenty of action here at Kingsholm. Gloucester Hartpury with the lion's share of possession, of carries, of meters. Much better on the discipline front, and having to make far fewer tackles. They'll have slightly less sore bodies, I suspect, tomorrow morning. And it really was just a case of suffocating Harlequins, denying them of possession, of territory, of the chance to unleash that world-class back line. Amy Turner's women stymied in every facet of the game. If you've just heard the volume picking up, it's because today's hosts are out applauding the fans who are applauding them right back. We've already touched on the fact that they'll be heading to Sale next week, and that Saracens are hosting Bristol Bears. Harlequins have a chance to get a few more points in the table. They host DMP on Sunday, and our other two Saturday fixtures, Loughborough Lightning up against Worcester Warriors, and Exeter hosting Wasps. I'm delighted to say that Lauren has been joined by Kat down pitch side, and the man who's frankly been the star of the show on screen today, Sean Lynn.
I am indeed. He's been the star of the show while his ladies have laid down a marker on the pitch. I mean, Sean, could you have even predicted that kind of outcome coming into a an opportunity for Harlequins to take the playoff type clash against one of the best in the league?
No, I didn't. That result is outstanding, and just full credit to the girls. These last 2 weeks, we've changed our team, changing times around, where some girls are full-time, some are not. We train in Friday nights to come into a Sunday just because of that. Look, the effort these girls have put in over these last 2 weeks to come back from 6 nations, I just can't fault it. It's amazing.
Of all of the incredible play that we saw on display, what will you walk away with most pleased about?
Just the detail that we've done all week. Last week we spoke about we were fixing problems on the field, but this week we fixed it on the training, and everything just ticked out there. Defensively, attack, transition from defence into attack. You know, it was brilliant, and it was really pleasing.
And how important has it been, the impact of the entire squad? Your bench came on, made a huge impact as well today. How key are they to the rest of your season now on the business end?
Oh, exactly right, and that's the message that was at half-time. You know, we in bench, you're going to be coming on, making that impact, and I know I've got that 26, 27-man squad, because there's some girls who are still chomping at the bit who want to be involved in this.
Now, we can't quite say you've got the home semi-final, but it's very much in your grasp. Can you rest easy yet? Or does the work just begin now?
No, look, I'm all about control what you can control. We've got Sale next week, you know, and they come off a very good win, and we're not going to take them lightly at all. They're a very good outfit, so we'll see what we can do.
It was just one of those games from a bystander where you watch, and I think any other team looking on would go, yikes, we've got Gloucester Hartpury coming up. Given that actually this is the first time you've really been in this position, you've been dealing with the big games, to have that impression on other teams, that's part of the goal, right?
Yeah, it is, but, you know, at the beginning of this season, everything I've spoken about, how do you defend this Gloucester Hartpury team? How do you attack this Gloucester Hartpury team? That is been our mentality all through, from the first game to now where we're going into the business end, but we still got things to work on. We know that we've still got to work on things from there.
Even from today's performance, work-ons from that.
Yeah, definitely. And look, the girls are outstanding. I cannot fault their effort. The staff are not working so hard behind the scenes. Just a credit to everyone involved here, but also the crowd. To have 2,300 people at Kingsholm today was amazing, and fingers crossed people will start coming back to more and watching this Gloucester Hartpury outfit.
So, do you rest players knowing what you've got ahead in the playoffs?
That's a good question. Look, I will go to the medical rooms, speak to the physio, see who needs resting up, and go from there. But like I said, we're not taking Sale lightly next week. They're a very good outfit. Go good with confidence and go from there.
I mean, you mentioned there are little things to work on. Are you willing to share, just in your view, what they might be?
Yeah, just some. We're making some line breaks, and it's making sure we get that race to ruck. But then, if we do get race to ruck, we have to be effective at that race to ruck. That's what we're looking at. It's small margins, but they could be making big differences when you're going into those tight games.
Small margins win you championships, Sean, and you're well on your way.
No, I totally agree, and also defence wins you championships as well, and the defensive outfit out there today was outstanding, and I know Rhys Oakley and Dan Murphy, the coaching group, will be very impressed with that. So full credit to the staff, the players. I can't fault it.
And I don't know if you're aware, you had the camera on you. We called it the creep cam as a joke because it was just zoomed in on you quite often. You had the biggest smile on your face throughout that game, and I think that's something that the players have as well. There's just an enjoyment. And how was it, I guess, building that culture to create that? That's a big question I've dropped on you there, sorry.
It's a massive question, and look, one thing I talk about the girls, we work hard in the week, but this 80 minutes, be the circus, be you, go out there and entertain. And some of the girls just love entertaining by putting in massive physical shots. Some of them, like Emma Singh, just loves running back. But everything, what's really pleasing for me, and everything we're talking about in the week, they're now starting to put into practice, which is lovely to see.
It's lovely for us to watch, Sean. Thank you so much. Congratulations on such an incredible performance.
Yeah, well, thank you.
And thank you, UCAT, for joining me and protecting me from balls.
Yeah, always.
Thank you to Claire Thomas as well up in commentary. Well, we've had a lovely day in the sunshine, but we get to do it all over again next week. Make sure you join us on Allianz Premier 15s and the BBC. I hope you guys have enjoyed it at home. What a tri-fest. What a way to ease into the business end of the season. We'll see you guys soon.
And Gloucester Hartpury back in the game.